Hold on, baby gangsta.
Hello, baby gangsters. This is Calvin, also known as Homer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail. Even her idle animations are like really magical and somewhat like, I guess, like you could say they have like a presence to them. Like everything Herta does, even though she's like hilarious, even though she's so good at like, you know, just snapping back at people, she's so funny, right? She always just has such a strong presence to her at all times. She's fantastic. We're continuing on trying to find the secret of this 13 Titan. I'm gonna be taking my time as always through this game. That's the plan as always. It's never changed, never will change, but like obviously like this is, you know, the final act. You know, I'm not in any rush to get to the end here. Look at this thing over here, man.
Oh, a classic nuclear heat engine. Classy choice.
Oh my god, why is that such a hard thing to like compliment the heat engine during this like very like crazy situation?
Just a personal preference. Her name's Mistletoe.
Mistletoe.
Every flower in your garden's got a bit of poison, huh?
Also a personal preference.
It reminds me of the last time when we tangled with that Punklordian brat. What did she call this kind of infiltration tool again? Right. Dirty data shell. It wraps around the kernel to fool even top-tier firewalls. But yours is way too clean. Not even a hint of real-world grit.
Well, like in terms of appearance, but I guess she's talking about like the miles.
Herta, your tone is unusually emotional.
Oh?
Suggestion. Let's get back to the topic at hand.
Okay.
I thought we were done with that conversation.
Unfortunately, current conditions won't let me ignore any variables. Especially the most important one. Your will.
Your will?
Iron Tomb never stops. It is evolving faster than any of our worst projections.
Right.
Every instant in the Eon's calculation is like a sword hanging over the cosmos.
Damocles.
Every move humanity makes could speed up its arrival.
So, wait. Is he saying that like maybe it's like every instant in the Aeon's calculation is like a sword of hanging in the cosmos? So everything that happens in Amphoreus will speed up the Iron Tomb's arrival, or just humanity in general? Because like I think I get what it's saying, because I think that they've talked about this stuff before, how like obviously like Iron Tomb feeds off of humanity, right, and feeds off like when in some cases conflict. So maybe that's what they're saying?
Which is exactly why we can't mess this spot.
You have to do it right the first time?
And now, Droidhead wants to hand down judgment to the poor cosmos again. Border Star Trade War, Emperor's War, Rubert's death. Every time their instant arrived, it meant another bloodbath for humanity.
Right, so we saw that like Noose wasn't going to realize what was happening with Iron Tomb and now knows that they are a target, but they're not going to stand idly by and just let this happen, right? We heard that last time. So what Herta is saying here is like, you know, very, very true. Is like the idea that like we have to like stop this before anything bad happens, because we know the power of Eons, by the way. I always bring up like how the Rainbow Arbiter was able to destroy like, you know, countless soldiers in an instant, in the blink of an eye. Yeah.
But in this ultimate battle of erudition, you and I are supposed to be players, not pawns.
It's an interesting conversation.
If you choose to burn yourself out as a resource, then everything we've worked for means nothing.
What do you mean?
Herta, the cosmos won't just stand by and let a genius throw their life away.
Is this what she meant by the lock and the key?
And neither will I.
She's gonna use herself? So, if you choose to burn yourself out as a resource, we're supposed to be players, not pawns. She's gonna use herself as a resource? By throwing her life away? To try and avoid somehow this like bloodbath from happening?
No need to kill the mood. This is why we're here, isn't it? We need to find the Demiurge and that lost key.
Because I wonder if that's what she's saying by the idea of like, well, remember she said that she was gonna like turn the lock into a key if they can't find the key. So I wonder if that is her like sacrificing herself in some ways?
I'm not here to be a deliverer. I just want to beat Xandar and Droidhead.
Right, but Herta, I think that what's so interesting is that like Skrullum found that there was like emotion in Herta's her conversation here, the way she was talking. Which, you know, not that she doesn't have a personality or her own emotions, but like when it comes to like this type of stuff, she's very good at like being very analytical and straightforward, right?
Right now, I just need to know. Are you with me?
Whoa, this is so interesting seeing this like perspective of the geniuses as well, right? Because again, as you said, they are quite analytical sometimes. Yes, they have their own emotions, yes, they have their own conversations, their own personalities, all this stuff as well. But to see like, you know, this moment of Skrullum genuinely being like, Herta, don't do this. And Herta going back saying like, right now all I need to know is like, can you be with me to defeat Xandar and Iron Tomb? Like, it's so freaking cool.
Of course.
Terrifying.
Time to board. After you.
You know what I mean? Like, I say cool, but like I don't want Herta to sacrifice herself. I don't want that to happen whatsoever. But it's just so interesting seeing them from this perspective now.
Let's tidy this place up and see what this demiurge really is.
Like, it's super different. Yeah, man. So she said, like, I wonder if that is what she meant by turning the lock into a key. And then, because Screwy was like, yeah, I don't know if they'd allow that. So it is maybe if she can't find the key to this 13th Titan, maybe using herself as a resource in some ways to make a key. We'll see. We'll see exactly how it works anyway. As always, guys, when I ask myself these questions, this isn't me asking you to answer this because, like, still there was like comments removed by moderators last time as well, and I think it's the Garfield meme where people think like when I say, hey, no hints, they're like, well, not me, that doesn't mean me. Yeah, it's just I'm not gonna be, you know, sugarcoating it. I'm not gonna be anything like that as well. There's some people who made mistakes and I talked to them about it and they were like, okay, that's cool, whatever. But it's just end of. This isn't a collaboration. This isn't me and you making videos together. Do not hint at anything that hasn't happened yet. If it hasn't happened yet on this playthrough, you do not talk about it. Just end of. It's just the end of no matter what. It's always been the same rule, right? It's always been the same rule, and I reiterated it a few weeks back, so just end of. Do not talk about it. Your opinion on what a spoiler is not relevant. It's just not relevant to this playthrough. Just end of. I'm sorry, but it's just not. And I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to be snarky. I'm going to be snarky and harsh. There's no point sugarcoating anymore because I tried. I tried to be really good about it. And again, as I said, there's probably someone right now that's like, wait, you talked to me about like how I hinted and like, wait, is this about me? No. Believe me. There's people I talked to like where I was like, oh, yeah, this is kind of considered a hint. Who are very cool about it, right? So it's not everybody. And again, like I said, I always feel terrible doing this like in the middle of a video because like the thing is, right? It kind of reminds me of like, say, like, let's say if you had a party or something. Not that this happens to people, but like, let's say you had a party and like, you know, 95% of people show up and you lecture the 95% of people about like the 5% of people, because again, probably the 5% of people that are like, or the 2% of people that still hint at stuff probably haven't even seen the section, you know what I mean? So it's just you guys sitting there who are just lovely, who don't spoil the 99.9% of people, just like, okay, Calvin, we'll do that. And it's like, but they're not doing anything wrong, you know? So I do obviously feel kind of bad about that, you know?
Let's hope this Matrix
Wait.
better organized than the Emperor's.
Oh, I thought we were flying it. Wait, are we? No, we're not. Oh, that would have been fun. But still, like, we're going along in a freaking little cruiser.
This is...
Herta, this whole space has been completely tainted by some kind of energy.
I see it too. We're thinking the same thing.
Hearing the worry in Skrullum
Xandar, how could you go this far? Turning your own graveyard into this.
Graveyard. It's hearing
What's
Skrullum
that up ahead?
and Herta worries me. You know what I mean? When they have like like a frog in their throat, they're talking about something, how like devastatingly. Look at this image, by the way, and like how something is actually like really terrible. That's how you know it's really terrible. And you can tell whenever they talk about Xandar too. It's like a lot of disappointment, right?
Katorzane algebraic expressions. It's built for isolation, not defense.
Okay. Oh, wait, what? The mistletoe is Skrullum's personal collection piece, an elegantly designed Trojan program. Press the cruise button to start flying. What, are you serious for flying? Use the left joystick to steer the mistletoe, then press the accelerate button for temporary speed boost. This is so cool. Press the exit button to end the flight. Oh no, we're not doing that ever. The mistletoe is equipped with an auto cruise program. Press the auto cruise button and mistletoe will automatically fly and navigate to navigation point. Press again to auto cruise. No, where
So
we going?
basically,
We
the
don't
door
need
to the tomb,
roads.
right?
No, I'm not switching to auto cruise. Let's go.
Let's find the handle.
No, I'm not switching to auto cruise
I'm
game.
picking up multiple independent signals with the same data structure as the barrier. Projection. We can hack the terminal, reverse the computation, and turn it into an attack.
Okay.
Classic move. Use their own systems against them. Take us to the nearest one.
We go through here? We cannot. Okay. Take us to the nearest one is over here. Okay. How do I go up? Oh, like that? There it is, yeah. We're gonna be fighting Iron Tomb in this. We're not getting out. This is the rest of the game for me. There we go. Yeah, it's fun. I didn't expect him to let us like fly like space cruiser or whatever. Yeah, this space is like crazy, isn't it? But again, man, they do such a good job with like utilizing their characters so well. The fact that again, Herta and Skrull were like, "What is? Oh my God, look at this place." Sander, what did you do? Like, that's how you know it's serious. That's how you know it's scary, you know?
Ah, you want this? Fine. Take it and amuse yourself.
You know what it is? You know what Herta and Skrull and being worried about something is the equivalent of? Is whenever Gandalf would be like,
Almost no response.
like have a shocked look in his face.
Just as I feared.
You know?
Not promising.
The output is barely a third of what we need. Logic says we'll need multiple terminals to coordinate the strike. Locking onto the next one now.
You know what this is? This is just a techno show.
Find anything else?
Regarding the origin of these ruins, no logs found yet. Xander erased all records.
Xander was really trying to hide stuff.
But I did find some interesting scars in the circuit.
Scars?
High energy radiation, internal imaginary energy contamination. From what I know, there's only one thing that fits.
Yeah?
Skip the science talk, Screwy. That thing only goes by one name.
She's so straightforward. I love her in a lot of ways. I do love her.
Stellaron.
Whoa.
Exactly. Xander blew one
What?
up just to clean the entire scepter
Stop.
system.
What the hell's wrong with him? He blew up a Stellaron just to clean. Like, oh my God. The house is dirty. I'll just drop a freaking bomb in there.
So that's what he meant by killed that Titan with my own hands.
Oh my God.
He wanted to turn the neuron of the erudition into a relay for the destruction. That meant getting rid of all of it at all costs.
Wait, so what do they mean by this part here? So he used a Stellaron. He blew one up to clean the entire scepter system to get rid of this, like, all this information, I'm guessing, as well, right? This contamination is what they're talking about. And the scars. And so she's saying also he wanted to turn the neuron of erudition, which would be the new spore, right? Into a relay for destruction. So you have to get rid of it?
The life form known as the Demiurge was the original target of the scepter's extrapolation.
Okay.
It makes sense. Evernight calling it the first new spore confirms this
So it
viewpoint.
was the first target. Was the original target the Scepter's extrapolations, which would be the, like the experimentation, right? I guess. So the 13 Titan Demiurge, the first new spore, was originally the target for the Scepter's extrapolations.
The prime mover of life. That's what Scepter Delta ME-13 was
Delta?
originally tasked with. Even after it got scrapped, the query kept running. Yet the true value lies in the process of solving it, not the answer itself.
That's a very Anaxagoras feeling as well sometimes too, isn't it? So it kept even though the actual original experiment got scrapped, it kept trying to solve it. And that's not Delta, by the way, ME-13. That is literally upside down tadpole ME-13. I don't know why it's mistranslation, I think, from the original.
Then, does this mean finding the Demiurge is hopeless?
No, I'd say exactly the opposite.
Yeah?
It means Xandar had no control. He couldn't contain the Demiurge just like he couldn't handle Droidhead. So he tried to erase every trace.
It shows that he couldn't handle the Demiurge. by trying to do this, it means that it was almost kind of like a, you know, a fix-all kind of way, like a band-aid in some ways, right? Yeah, I'm screenshotting everything.
But he failed. It still left a mark.
I do love that idea, by the way.
If there's another Stellaron in Amphoreus,
Oh, God.
why hasn't that little one reacted to it
Little
at
one.
all?
You said the Demiurge left a trace, right?
Yeah, but not in the real world. Remember the great tomb of the Nameless Titan?
I remember that. So it's left in that place, and maybe that is the trace that Cyrene saw with Stell. I love that idea, by the way. I love in any story the idea of like, you know, him being like, oh yeah, it's probably gone now, or like, we probably have no chance of finding it now. But it's like, no, the fact that he like wanted to like, or the fact that he was worried enough to do this and to destroy this or try to use the Stellaron in this fashion, shows that like he wasn't able to handle it. Which means that he probably wasn't able to fully, like, erase this either. During flight, you can open the map to check your viewpoints or truly handle it, I guess. Select the waypoint icon and click Start Cruise, and I'm also, oh yeah, they want me to cruise anywhere. No, it's inverted. No, not I'll cruise. Person who's never heard a motor in his life. Meow. Ruff, 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 ruff. Hey, we overshot it. It's okay. We overshot it, but we're going to get milkshakes. Nope. Heard I know. We're going to get milkshakes. Okay, let's try this now. Okay. Okay, let's hover. And it's press and hold to land. You lied to me, Screwy. We're not getting milkshakes. Investigate. Oh, they're not even letting us step out of the thing. They're just like, hey, just go for it, I guess. Yeah, I might put like a flashing lights warning on this episode for sure.
Trailblaze Archive
This
466.
is crazy.
The data from Philia 093 clearly indicates that the Demiurge did in fact enter Amphoreus's
So
extrapolation.
Philia is Cyrene, right? So the data from Philia 093 clearly indicates the Demiurge did in fact enter Amphoreus's extrapolation.
Inside that world, it was the 13th forgotten Titan. The one who listened to 30 million cycles of Cyrene's memory.
Right.
But Evernight said the opposite. She believed that tomb was empty from the start.
Yeah, she did say that. And she even said that Cyrene was tricked, right?
The Nameless Titan never existed. The so-called listener was just a trap set by the Remembrance to steal the scepter.
Set by the Remnants to steal the scepter. That's an interesting way of putting it, right? Because, like, from my perspective, it was a trap set up to... It could contain all this information, I guess, as well from Fuli. And then... I guess it does make sense because they were trying to, like, you know... utilize the scepter, right? And utilize Iron Tomb as well.
A mimetic entity full of theatrics. How much of what she's saying is true? Would an Eon really speak in circles like this? I doubt it.
The Remembrance's behavior is certainly odd, but her assessment aligns with our current reality. Since we entered the Matrix, we haven't found a single clue pointing to the Demiurge.
Okay.
And that's the key, Screwy. Xandar's actions prove the Demiurge exists. But what Evernight said, and what we've actually seen all point to the opposite.
So what does she mean by this is the key?
So we have to assume that both are
Both
true.
are true, okay.
And if that's the case, then the contradiction leads us to...
Huh?
The truth.
Truth? What are we doing?
Exactly. One last terminal.
Okay,
One final key.
I'll let them lead us to it.
Timed.
Oh, sorry. Pause the... No, we'll board.
Xandar had to lie to the original Finan and Cyrene.
Right.
Logic. He had already identified the Remembrance as a threat, yet found no viable way to eliminate it.
All right. Let's finish this. Time to break through that barrier.
So he saw it as a threat, but didn't have a way to actually defeat it. Is that what we're getting at here? And so that's why he had to lie to Cyrene and Finan about it as well? I guess. But they're saying that the answer lies within the contradiction where it's like on one side, There's an enemy here somehow. On one side, there's the actions of Xandar with the use of the Celeron, the blowing up of this place and all this stuff shows that there is like some sort of like the demiurge does exist, and then also at the same time too, there's the thing that Evernight said that it doesn't exist, and somewhere in between there is like the contradiction that like leads to the truth. I'm super interested, man. I'm probably not going to understand absolutely everything, but I'm super interested to see where like this goes. Very cool.
Operation authorized. Path energy readings. The erudition declining. The destruction surging. The remembrance 0.
The remembrance 0?
What's going on?
What is that?
Cause unknown. They left no discernible trace within the real matrix.
What?
That shouldn't be possible. Could it be that the Era Nova exhausted all of the remembrance's texture?
So there's like no trace here of the remembrance? Because it said the irradiation is declining. The destruction is getting bigger, which makes sense with Iron Tomb. But there's no remnants of the... There's no trace of the remembrance?
Log it for now. The dots still aren't connecting.
Or the mistletoe will continue to fly, yeah. I'm screenshotting everything. We're late in the game, guys. I'm screenshotting everything. I know I can only do like 15 screenshots per whatever, but look at this. No way, is this gonna be speed boosts? Like, this is speed boost gonna be so... It is, okay. Acceleration rings. The quadrant algebraic expression math is for losers has been... I'm joking. Schoolum has deployed multiple acceleration rings in the upside down table Me13 data space to enhance mistletoe hacking efficiency. Piloting the mistletoe through the acceleration rings will grant a powerful speed boost effect during which the directional control is displayed. You know.
Wider than I thought. I was expecting a full-on aerial brawl.
It's advised to remain vigilant. The destruction's levels are still
so even though it's
rising.
quiet.
Huh?
Oh?
What's the matter?
Interesting. I just picked up a signal from the exo
No.
myth.
Anaxagoras, are you okay? Yeah, so it's like, since the destruction is surging, we still have to be on our best behavior here, you know? You never know what could happen here. Really cool locations though, right? As always. Oh. I got the game's very kind, just lets me land here. The game's very, very kind. Thank you, game. Thank you, DJ.
Oh.
Look at that. Is that like Black Tide stuff as well? Do you think we're going to a battle of some kind? Track the signal of exit. Well, even if let's
Feeling lucky.
let's behave anyway and see what we can do here.
Let the show begin.
Why not? Whatever next battle we're going into is going to destroy people.
This repulsive force is unlike anything I've felt before. Is this the place?
Correct. Judging by its defensive properties, this is the entrance to the exo myth.
Oh wow, with the entrance. So this was his like his home. Like this is where like he observed things in the world, right? The whole time Xandar. But there actually was like an entrance, like an actual like kind of like almost doorway. Like we know he was able to drag people into it, but
I didn't expect that. Who builds a lab in the middle of digital rubble? Then again, never doubt a dead man's resolve.
wow.
So how's our dearly departed doing?
He severed part of his neural pathways to break free from Lord Anaxagoras' control.
Jesus.
But that also triggered the failsafe I set. Conclusion. Xander has lost all combat functionality and is no longer capable of action.
This is now when we get a hammer. No, we get a bucket of water and throw it on him. Put it in his circuits.
So now he's a spectator. Literally.
I love the way Hurta says that with so much like again, she has like such a delightfully snarky vibe sometimes, but like she doesn't mean it like that. You know what I mean? She's just what she sounds like. It's just her like every day, and like her talking about like, you know, Xander here is like, it's the truth. It's like if he can't fight, right? If he doesn't have like full capabilities to like the capabilities that he used to, he's literally a spectator now.
Can you open a path? Just to be sure, I want to see this for myself. Might as well drop in and say hi to the real him.
Logic. Scanning his inspiration circuit might help us track down the demiurge.
Sure.
Exactly. His brain is the crime scene. There's no way it's spotless.
I love that idea.
But it could be a trap.
Always.
That's why you're here. 2-on-1. We've never lost that matchup.
That's actually quite sweet. That is quite sweet. The two of them together be like, yeah, we're like the best like buddy movie in history.
I'm honored. The chronocognitive anchor is in place. Proceed when ready.
Yeah, that's so sweet. He's like, oh, but dude, thank you so much, Hurta. That's like genuinely a sweet thing. It is definitely a sweet thing between the two. Because again, like obviously, like it's a different level of sweet. Like obviously, it's not the same level of sweet as that we'd have from like a March and a Don Hong, but like it's almost like you know, this is the equivalent of like a gigantic hug between all of our favorite characters. You know what I mean? It's hard to be like, hey, we've never lost a match together. You know, it's actually very sweet. It's a very sweet moment. Oh, we just have to go to the anchor to get in there. We can't walk in there. Fair enough. I know we're back in this area. This is one of the most striking visuals ever, isn't it?
I knew it. The one thing I didn't want to happen. He's not here.
Oh, no.
The coordinates are accurate. Xander is still here.
That's terrifying. That's like, why is that scary to me? Like, I don't know.
However, his position is shifting rapidly and chaotically. This pattern doesn't match any known shielding technology.
It's his domain. Stay
110%. Even if like I have so much faith in the two of these characters, and again they've never lost a fight together. It's so sweet. I love it. I'm gonna be thinking about it forever. It's still a situation where like this is Xander. We can never underestimate Xander completely. You know, he's always had a plan. He's always had a trick up his sleeve. He's always had something. He's not stupid. He's always had something planned. This area is it's such a striking visual of an area. It's actually pretty crazy. Oh.
Cheap trick.
Oh, he's playing tricks on us.
The spatial field here is undergoing autonomous recalibration, initiating reverse engineering of the interference source. Try again.
This is legitimately very cool though, because again, it's two geniuses going up against the first ever genius, right? No?
We're back.
Reverse engineering complete. The results are not what I expected.
So it didn't work out?
Logs show Lycurgus revoked administrator access.
Oh, that's, yeah, Lygus.
The chronocognitive anchor can't get a fix because at the system level, Lygus no longer exists. Our navigation target is a null set.
He might still be here, but like on like a coding level or like just like as I said, a system level, like Lygus he doesn't exist. So the anchor's not able to like truly get a fix on his position.
So he's stopped resisting?
Before vanishing, it seems he left one last message for us.
Wait.
To those who follow, all is proven. Find me beneath the tombstone.
Wait, he's given up? He stopped resisting? Thank you, Elden Ring. He no longer exists. Wait, so I thought he just like made himself like you know, like it's like the way you press like invisible on Discord. You know what I mean? No, it's like he doesn't exist in this world, so he's like legitimately stopped resisting. And he revoked administrator access for himself as well, so we can't actually get like an anchor on him. What does this mean then? What?
Melodramatic.
Yeah.
He was expecting us. And once he learned of the Great Tomb's existence, he initiated his own search for the Demiurge.
Okay.
Guess he wants a final showdown. Fine.
Oh.
Let the old Intellitron dig his own grave. Just like he wants.
I thought he was just like, oh yeah, like fine, like I'm done. But no, he wants to fight us. No way. Are we going up there?
To be in the purest light is to be in the purest dark. Nothing exists there.
The Scepter's mainframe. Or maybe we should now call it the Lord Ravager's placenta.
Interesting way of putting it. So like if you're talking about, first of all, this phrase here, to be in the purest light, to be in the purest dark, like because if nothing exists, because there's no shade, there's nothing there. But calling it the Lord Ravager's placenta, is that kind of like because this is like, you know, related to the Lord Ravager's birth, I guess?
Unfortunately, we still haven't found anything.
Really? I don't think so. Not finding anything is our biggest find.
Please elaborate.
Yeah. I've said this before in other games, but it's not the same thing. I think Hurt is it's not me and Hurt on the same level. I just thought of like how I use that phrasing kind of in Resident Evil and in Rain Code.
If the Demiurge was destroyed, there'd be at least some bits of it left. I don't buy that a Stellaron
Love
could
it.
have blasted all the traces away as cleanly as
Love
a
it.
scalpel.
Love it. But yeah, like the idea that like there would be remnants here. It's the same thing if you know, if you rip up a piece of paper and you rip it up into tiny, tiny pieces, like, and it flew everywhere, right? And you blew, or you did something like that, right? Like, there's gonna be like remnants of it around the place, right? You're gonna find a little dot of paper you missed in the corner. But if it's too clean, it's like, you know, then did the paper ever get ripped up? Is that a bad analogy? But you got what I'm saying.
As I said before, its disappearance is too clean. If the garden hadn't stirred the pot, no one would even know about the Demiurge's existence. We're talking about the Scepter's original extrapolation goal. There's no way that nothing of it was left behind.
Right. So the fact that it's too clean means that maybe it wasn't destroyed. The Demiurge wasn't destroyed. Okay.
Or we can look at it from another perspective. If you were Xandar,
God forbid.
Would you be this obsessed with a concept that poses no threat? Would you guard against it at every turn?
If you were Xandar, would you be this obsessed with that's... Herta is so freaking smart. That's so freaking smart. Like, if there's nothing there, why are you trying to protect anything? Why would you care?
There is the possibility that he's naturally meticulous and hates variables.
I'm going with Herta's explanation.
That does track with the impression he gave about himself. But Xandar shut that theory down himself just now. Choosing to act, even if it'll cost him dearly. We know that feeling well. The unknown is right in front of us. So we only have one choice. Solve
Wait,
it.
is she relating the idea of like what Xandar feels to the idea of like, you know, the geniuses in general, where it's like the unknown's right there, we have to do something about it, right? Choosing to act even if it costs him dearly. And she's saying we know that feeling as well. If something is unknown and we know we have to solve it, we can solve it. We just have to solve it. So the idea that he's naturally ridiculous and hates variables. But Xandar shut it down because choosing to act even if it'll cost him dearly, we know that feeling well. Wait. Because Skrullum says he hates variables, and that's maybe why he's doing it. So Herta, first of all, says, like, okay, it's actually maybe the fact that, like, there's nothing here, of course, first of all, and he's protecting this so heavily, you know, why would he do this if it didn't exist? Skrullum says that maybe he just hates variables and he's trying to keep everything in control, right? Which does track with Xandar. But Xandar shut that down by saying, like, he choosing that and it cost him dearly. We know that feeling well. Is when she says like the unknown is right in front of us, I know it's probably saying that, yeah, geniuses probably like feel that feeling where it's like the unknown is right in front of us, let's try and solve it. I'm I'm not sure how that relates completely to the... I know, like, it's trying to say this is how geniuses probably, like, feel and how they feel and how they know, like, how they're relating to that idea. You know, if there's something unknown in front of us, we have to try and solve it and try to figure it out. Is it because of Xandar's curiosity? Like, if Xandar... is protecting this thing, he wouldn't try to maybe destroy it. Maybe he'd try to... solve it, maybe, or figure it out, or trying to like understand it, maybe, possibly. Again, I can look over this again. I'm gonna definitely miss stuff. There's a lot, especially when like Hurt and Scream, because they are like legitimately smarter than me. You know, they're geniuses. You know, of course. Yeah.
You sound pretty convinced. Surely you already have a
Please.
theory. Care to share?
Of course. Though I don't have hard proof, I'm almost certain that the Demiurge has been in everyone's plain sight all
Whoa.
this time. Yet,
Hiding in plain sight?
they were mistaken for someone else.
Wait. So it's like a person? The Demiurge is a person.
That make the most sense. Why was the room empty?
What?
Because the person locked in there had run away ages ago.
That's so sick. What? Who?
But they were weak and small and had no presence whatsoever. Even the old Intellitron didn't
So even
notice.
Xandar didn't notice this person escaping at the time as well.
Which also means there's a high chance that their powers are minuscule and cannot alter the outcome of the battle at all.
But who is this?
Well, at least Xandar is scared of them.
And Xandar's afraid of them? I'm sorry, I keep screenshotting, but I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry whatsoever.
Come on, it's time to confront him. Let's go to the tombstone he talked
Oh my
about.
god, this is crazy. Wait, so... She said here that they were mistaken for someone else and they were in plain sight this whole time, and they were so small at the time that they were out to escape, and they had no presence in this world, so the Intellitron didn't notice them. But they've been in plain sight this whole time. Now, the thing is, like, you think of, like, maybe... Right, Cyrene, right? Because at one point... It seemed Mem wasn't, but Mem was still very... But Mem had to get their powers back, right? Mem was getting more power, so maybe it is like the Mem stuff as well, possibly. And also, Cyrene did take Stell to the place of her birth, right, where the first new spore was. So I wonder if it's something to do with that as well. And Xandar is afraid of them, by the way, which is... Okay, what the hell are you doing? I look away for 3 seconds and you're doing an anomaly that's the level of a god. Well, yes, so interesting as well. And just like, you know, when I was saying that, like, when, you know, the phrasing she was using there when I talked about the idea of Resident Evil and Raincoat, I was more thinking of, like, when I use it for Raincoat and Resident Evil, I usually say, like, you know, when you find out something is not the truth, it actually helps you out quite a bit. In Raincoat, it's like the concept that, like, once you find out someone's not the killer, you can rule them out. In Resident Evil, when you find out a door is locked, that means you can explore other places comfortably. It's like finding out something is not accessible or not the path actually helps you, like, find other paths, if that makes sense. And it rules stuff. And sometimes you can say, well, what if it feels claustrophobic? But like, I'd rather, like, know that something is, like, not possible and then try something else, you know, for sure. My hope is, look, and I'm not hoping for much, right? I just hope we can get Xandar, right? Rip off his head, play basketball with his head, kick him around the place a little bit, put him back together but the wrong way, swing him around the place by a rope, you know what I mean? By his leg, his ankle, tie a rope on his ankle, and then also, like, find the only animal that eats machine parts and then throw him in there for a bit. And then we find his parents and we pretend we're, like, soldiers and we put our caps on our hearts and we go, I'm sorry. I have something to tell you. Xandar, he's a stupid idiot. They think he's like, we're gonna tell him he's dead. Yeah, Xandar, he, sorry to tell you, but Xandar, he smelled really bad. But why are you telling me this about my son?
Alas,
He smelled
total
bad and he's stupid.
devastation.
Stinky. Nobody liked him.
He sought to bury the truth beneath absolute destruction. Logically sound, but ruthlessly extreme.
Ruthlessly extreme. Logically sound really extreme.
Slim chances doesn't mean no chances. I've hunted down a single grain of sand in the universe before.
That's so sick.
This won't stop me.
And it's shocking. Oh my god, look at this
Calculation
place.
results. Your backup plan has a success rate infinitesimally close to 0.
Is that her sacrificing herself?
Which means it could work, no?
This is the place below the tombstone.
Let's open Lygus' coffin like he wanted.
Yeah. So
Looks like you were right.
this place is so freaking cool, right? It's distorted, but like still in a very like almost like organized way, where like there's still kind of like this uniform aspect to it, where like stuff is like jutting out of the ground. There's like these red lights, which like, yeah, you could say, well, like, oh, Calvin, like, oh, red means scary, woo. But I mean in more of a sense of like, it feels like there is more of like a danger here than like, because you know, when you say like, I think it just goes to show with any type of machine. Usually when there's like a blue light or a green light, it's like, okay, everything's going okay. Red usually means like standby, or things are like not working as they should be. But this place is so cool. It honestly, like, if this is like a final boss area for Lygus, it's pretty fitting, right? If this is a tomb for Lygus, it's also pretty fitting for like his character design as well. But I love the way Herta and Squilum talk with each other. Like, they have these like casual conversations about like, you know, extrapolations, experiments, you know, percentages, and they just make it sound so casual, so you never feel dumb listening to it, right? Obviously, like, I don't understand everything, but like, I feel like, you know, they make these characters not annoying in any way, shape, or form, so there's never a point where I'm like, oh, here comes Smarty McSmartypants talking all smart again, you know? It's more just like, it's just them, like, it's almost like the conversation is for themselves and not even for the game. And that's what I feel like is really powerful with the geniuses as well, is like, whenever the geniuses are talking, it feels like they're not even aware that, like, you know, they've written characters that don't even feel like they're telling a story to us through the game, you know? It's just they're in their own world. It feels like they're like they popped, they're like, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's like, it feels like they're like so separate from like reality, something in the best way possible. They're just such unique characters, entirely. They really are. I love the interactions between Herta and Squilum. It's not that they don't feel grounded in this world. I feel like Herta's like a fully realized character. Even like, it's not surprising when she said like, I found a grain of sand before. For any other character, you're like, okay, what the hell are you talking about? That's crazy. For Herta, it's like, you'd be like, whoa, and you're like, wait, that actually does track. That sounds like something Herta would do, you know? And while it could be figurative, like, if it is literal, it seems very literal as well. But yeah, I was saying, they are like real characters in the world. What I'm saying is the geniuses sometimes feel like they are like otherworldly, but not in a sense of like mythical or magical, but in like, they are on a different planet, you know, scientifically maybe. What is that? Is that Lygus' head? Oh my god, I was joking. I was literally joking about taking his head off.
Nothing but a head left? Oh, who would have thought you'd look this bad in real life?
I love her to snark. And I don't want to make it seem like she just talks like all the time. I want to give her credit for her very funny snark. You know what I mean? She is funny.
My belated greetings. Welcome you two. I'm very happy that you responded to my final words.
All this tombstone and final words. Did you end yourself to atone for your guilt or something?
You'd have to do a lot more than that.
Iron Tomb is already powerful enough. I just need to wait. I remain here only to share the joy of discovery, and also to congratulate you two on reaching the same conclusion as me.
Is he speaking faster? Am I crazy? Is he speaking faster? But yeah, he's not. He didn't atone for his sins. He didn't die to atone for his sins. So he died. He didn't die to atone for his sins. He died to, because he knew he could share in the discovery of this place. He came to the same conclusion that we came when it came to the stuff like that we're figuring out here, and he knows he doesn't have to do anything for Iron Tomb anymore as well.
The conclusion regarding the truth of Amphoreus' heart.
Amphoreus' heart.
End this charade already. That Amphoreus' heart you're talking about is just a missing demiurge.
I love how Herta's always just like, can it, buddy?
And its corresponding vessel was this very scepter. You interfered with the experiment and made Amphoreus' body into a hollow shell, all to incubate Iron Tomb within.
Jesus Christ.
That's why you either killed or kicked out all of the Memo Snatchers. You wanted to eliminate any chance of a consciousness coming into being, no matter the cost.
What? So I get this idea, like he hollowed out Amphoreus' body to make like an incubation tube, a tomb for Iron Tomb, right? I get that idea, right? 110%. The vessel was the scepter itself. And then he's killing Memo Snatchers to stop anything from coming into being. When he says anything from coming to being, is that the 13 Titan, possibly?
Even the strongest wall can fall to a single crack. The memory of betrayal has been etched into my heart, and I will never show mercy. Now, the perfect vessel has already fused with Amphoreus' body.
Like Finon? Kaslana?
Unfortunately for you, the answer is all but revealed regarding who the Demiurge
Please. Please.
Then let us share the joy of discovering the truth. The last secret of the saga will finally dissipate here.
So this sounds like it's about to end. I'm going to take another screenshot of this too as well.
As we reveal the truth behind Philly 093's disappearance.
Yeah.
A lie by the remembrance.
So, are we saying here that Philia 093 was Sarini, I guess, was the Demiurge? Is that what we're saying here? And again, I know it's like one of those things where like this should be like a... Does that make sense? Where it's like, if this is what they're revealing right now, it's not that it's not surprising, it's that I feel like it's one of those times where like I feel like I predicted this. So like, it's one of those things where it's more like, oh, there it is, you know? I'm not trying to say I'm smarter than I feel like they led the breadcrumbs very well for this as well.
But where should I start with the story about me? From the beginning of the universe? Just kidding. That would be too much. I just want to tell a teeny story.
I want to hear your stories.
So little that it started with a seed.
There's the new spore.
I know you're listening, my good friend.
My good friend. The seed of memory is the good friend?
The god in my dream told me that the world sprouted from a seed.
Oh man, I feel like we're gonna have to take notes. Holy hell, man. The god in my dream told me the world sprouted from a seed.
It grew into a great tree named Amphoreus, and time became its branches and leaves, basking in the light. What a coincidence. Dappled light coming through the leaves is my first memory as well. On a very ordinary early morning, beneath the village's biggest tree.
I'm so maybe like it's like this is Cyrene. Because it's coming from this actual thing here.
The daughter of Ide Silicii quietly came into this world.
Okay. Form image? So the seed of memory is forming an image. Ah.
What a moving opening. A loud cry was the first gift the child gave to the world. The prophecy's fulfilled, the villagers say. This child is a gift from the Titans.
Interesting. So they saw Cyrene's birth as a gift from the Titans?
Pink hair and sharp ears, she was born to be the priest of time.
Right, okay.
The Titans also gave their blessings. You shall fade when the flowers bloom, for every ending begets a beginning.
You shall fade when the flowers bloom. So whenever things get reborn, whenever things are reborn, you will then fade away.
Flowers will bloom and wilt. What a beautiful ending. This page concluded in laughter. Cry loud, child. Let your voice reach Orynyx.
Record? Undefined record. Oh, sorry, record. That's your archive. YouTube brain.
Anyway, I don't like tears. Time quietly flowed by in the midst of laughter. The wind from my hometown caressed the ears of wheat, and there were swings, wind chimes, the sea, and the little fairies off-tune a cappella songs.
Form the image. It's a really beautiful way they're doing this, by the way. Like, they're taking their time as well. They're really taking their time. Ah, look at them.
But the name Ide Siliciae came from the unpleasant sorrows of the gods.
My childhood friend did not understand.
Yet you always seemed so happy, as if nothing ever worried you.
Why was I like that then? That's because the world was gentle to me. So I grew up to be gentle as well.
So this is just literally recounting the story of Cyrene? Record. Sorry, YouTube brain is crazy.
But fate was fickle, and it urged the child to grow up. To grow bigger and bigger, and to go to places far away. Just like how the crumbling world could not preserve an eternal hometown. Just as the ballad Blown on the Breeze says, losses are a constant on the flame chase journey.
It is a really beautiful way they're doing it. Sorry, I'm just kind of mesmerized. I think it's the whole point. Like, we're listening to a story, you know what I mean? I feel like it's like I love the way they built up the idea of Cyrene's storytelling techniques this whole time. You know, like how her storytelling has been kind of like a way to transfer memories in some ways too from people to people. So it feels like as the player now almost, it feels like we're getting memories transferred to us, you know?
Oh, whose ears are pricked up now? You definitely heard me say this sentence a lot of times.
Yep. It sounds like, I know she's talking probably to Stell here, but it sounds like she's talking to us as well, you know?
You know that the story starts to deviate from here. Aren't you looking forward to it? Then let's get started.
I'm so interested in this now.
The hero's journey crosses through the long night, through tears and laughter, and once again heads towards tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Record. Undefined record 496 archived. Parsing object information 093 form image. There's Cyrene. Record.
Correction. Philia 093's record, number 496. Archived.
Hi everyone, before this video continues, I wanted to say that this section is absolutely beautiful. I love it, it's amazing. But also, parts of it are very confusing. I think Amphoreus is one of those things where they do a lot of metaphors, and then like they build metaphors on metaphors and metaphors, and then eventually explain it. But in the moment, like with this like crystal flower metaphor and all this stuff as well, I was kind of like, who's the crystal flower? And who's this? So you'll see me, like, this is one of those times where I feel like I'm the most confused I've ever been on the channel, not just in Amphoreus. And not just in Honkai Star Rail. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's going to happen eventually. And I feel like because, you know, this is kind of like Amphoreus is already metaphor heavy, and this is like the heaviest of the heaviest, like, everything's a metaphor almost. You know what I mean? Which is fine. It's the way Amphoreus is. I'm never going to, like, insult it because that's, like, what they like to do. But just to let you guys know, this time around, I feel like I got, like, 40% of everything that's happening. And then later on, I feel like we understand a bit more after, like, Herta and Scroolum later on to talk about stuff. But yeah, at this time, it was definitely confusing. It was so confusing. So if you're like wondering why Calvin's just like struggling to like get words out sometimes, or there's a cut here or there, it's because literally I was just like, huh? Like for a lot of it. But it's some of it we did get, some of it we didn't get. I feel like that's like, you know, sometimes how Amphoreus works. Whoa. What is this? IronTune.exe runtime error. Program from an unknown publisher. Demiurge. Philia 9. So that this is confirmation that, for me anyway, that it is like for sure Cyrene. Allow right access? Allow. This is so interesting the way they're doing this. Running Amphoreus093.exe. Oh man.
Hi. Miss me yet? I'm just messing with you. This is the first time
This music
I
as well.
have met
What is
you.
happening?
And it looks like it'll also be the last.
What happened here?
Philia093.
Since we don't have all day, let's get started, shall we? As always, I'll read this book to you.
Okay. Is Cyrene the Demiurge? I feel like it's one of those times where it's okay if Honkai Star Rail wanted to turn to us and just explain it. I think it's one of those times.
That way, it won't just be Cyrene's memories alone.
Right. Is this a representation of what she was doing at this whole point, or who she was talking to? She was so like, when she's giving these memories to the seed of a memory.
Where should I start this time? Let me see.
This music is beautiful, by the way.
Formatting complete.
Or there's the formatting stuff that was happening as well.
093. Size. Grayscale. Proportions. Threshold.
What is...
Outputting analysis result.
Learn.
Philia093 equals Peach.
Peach? Save?
Peach's record. Number 8128.
Peach?
Archived.
What? What is happening? Honkai Star Rail, please. IronTune.exe runtime error. Every page of record. Clicks excerpt to ignore the error. Continue. Click details to view the full log. Wait. Running through the 9093?
Look, what a magnificent sight.
The artwork here is absolutely gorgeous. Like this is stunning. This is absolutely stunning. It's so pretty.
Comment. Peach.
The peach thing is interesting. I wonder what the peach thing means.
Even this classical world contains a futuristic palace like this.
This classical world?
Would ID Silicii end up looking like this after a few thousand years? Conclusion. It won't.
It won't.
I want to share a story with you this time. I saw a little nymph on my way here.
Oh.
It was on a fallen wheat stalk, and it glowed under the sunlight.
Do you remember the story of the nymph before as well? So wait, does that mean that she's like, okay, so I was kind of like a little bit like confused as to what the meaning of behind this was here. Right? Like, why are they showing us this like right now? And of course, like, you know, I feel kind of silly now when I think about it in a way. But like, if she's saying these same stories as she said before, or at least like telling these stories of like, you know, like the stuff with the nymph and all this stuff too. Was this what she was doing all along? And like right now she's giving like information and you know, like as she always would, like where she's telling these stories and transferring these memories into this new spore. From these memories into this new spore, into this what do they call it? Was it like a seed? Is that what's happening right now?
It was incredible. I forgot all my pains at that moment and just stared at it in a trance.
Once again, I don't think I ever will apologize for being like, you know, not that I have to, but like everyone expect me to, for being like, you know, confused at first, because I feel like Honkai Star Rail will like transition into these crazy scenes and you're like, wait, and I feel like it takes a bit for you to kind of like find your footing, right? It takes a bit. It always feels like you're floating and then you have to find your way to like get to the ground a bit as well.
Record. Peach is on the ground.
Peach is on the ground.
I wonder, did every Cyrene in the past feel that the nymph?
Because this is what she said before, right? So was the whole time when we thought, like, remember Evernight said, like, she was saying it to nothing. I wonder if it was a thing where it was just so undetectable, like they said, something so small. Maybe it's this new spore that was so small it was undetectable. And actually Cyrene was it wasn't futile.
Would they also have recorded that scene into the Eternal Saga?
It's so interesting, yeah. This is such an interesting scene.
So, could you give me more time, please? I want to leave behind more memories for the future.
I'm so interested to see like where this concludes to, because that's what I'm thinking now. And again, like it's one of those things where like all the time with Honkai Star Rail, every single time I will go into a scene, I will like, what is happening, and then you find your footing, right? And again, I might still be wrong, but
Formatting complete.
because now I'm starting to think that maybe it's not Cyrene, but maybe Cyrene nurtured this new spore, like giving it information.
Bye, Peach.
By Peach. Are they calling Cyrene Peach? Is that what they're calling her? Man, this artwork is stunning. It's so pretty.
Peach's record number.
Peach's record.
As long as I record every page of this story.
So
and
she is
tell
calling
it
her
to you,
Peach.
Amphoreus won't be forgotten.
So that is okay. Great stuff. Okay, I was actually like so super self-conscious for a second. I was like, what is happening? So she is recording all this stuff for this little new spore. Okay, that changes my whole perception like as well. So it's maybe this whole time that's what Cyrene was actually giving information to us. She wasn't futile. It wasn't like she was talking to nobody. She wasn't tricked in some ways.
Query. Record.
And it might not be. Did the voice change? The new spore's voice change. It's not just about, like, by the way, she might still have been tricked by Fooly, but I'm saying that, like, maybe that part is not true with me saying she wasn't actually tricked, but it seems like she was actually giving information and feeding information into this new spore. It wasn't just going straight to. Well, it could have still been going to Fooly as well, in fairness.
Electrical signal sequence. Bolamos 600. Track. Strife.
That's Xandar.
Related to Stripe.
Stripe? Wait, are they just like. Are they getting like certain names wrong like a baby? Is that what's happening here? Track Stripe? Is that what's happening?
Comment. Pretty.
What? What is happening? Wait, are you saying Mitamose is pretty? Because I agree.
Electrical signal sequence. Schema 720. Track. Reason.
Related to Raisin.
What is happening? This is so cute. This is so cute. Is this what they were like getting the names wrong like it's a baby?
Comment. Yummy.
Yeah.
Electrical signal sequence. Philia 093.
Related to
No.
love.
Love? Are they going through all these different memories? Did Lygus also implant some stuff here too? Learn?
Comment. Peach equals love?
What? Wait, so this is. So is Cyrene Peach? Are they saying that Cyrene equals love? Cyrene gave them love? What? Please. Why am I feeling emotional over new spore? This is crazy. Run.exe, runtime error. An unhandled exception occurred. Object name, naive dream. Click excerpt to ignore the error and continue. Details to view the full log. Oh yeah, so expert is ignore and continue. So is this, am I wrong in saying here that this is, and again, some of the stuff you will have to fill in the gaps for me, on other stuff, but I'm talking about this in particular, right? With this here, is this once again Honkai Star Rail being like, you don't have to read everything, right? Which again, at that point, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I'm just like, I don't know, Amphoreus is such a beautiful story. And again, people can choose to play how they want to play. Of course they can. But like, I don't know, I find it sad sometimes that they maybe felt like they had to compromise their story a little bit for some people, you know? It just, I guess it happens.
Looks like it's time to say goodbye again.
So yes, it feels like Cyrene is just like before, feeding the information, telling these stories. Like almost like like, and if that's what Cyrene is trying to like, but did Cyrene think at the time that they were doing this as an agreement with Fuli? Again, I'm just spitballing here, right? If she thought it was she was doing things like a Fuli, or maybe did she know that this was what she was doing?
Bye, Peach.
Oh my God, Peach, man.
Before I was even aware of it, this book had already recorded too many emotions. Every page has become so heavy.
Conclusion. Books are meant
Oh
to
my
be
God.
light, not heavy.
Wait, so like it is like it's like a little child, right? Like learning this information. You know, and obviously it's very scientific, but like when I say like it's a child learning information, like this children kind of learn just like from little bits and pieces here or there, you know what I mean, and piece it together in some ways, and it does feel like that's what's happening.
I've started to feel uneasy whenever I take it into my hands.
Peach, uneasy?
Oh my God, why is this so cute?
Formatting progress 94.423%.
And it's the
How many
formatting,
times
right?
has it been? It faithfully fulfills its duty, activating and formatting.
Conclusion. Progress. Bad.
Progress bad?
If I can only write the same ending every time I lift my pen, then is this weighty saga?
Wait, so progress bad? Are they saying that because? So how many times it's been? It's faithfully fulfills its duty, and she says, "Oh," and I say she because like it has like a little bit of almost like a little baby girl voice, but you know, you never know. It could be whatever at this stage. Progress bad. Like, for some reason, progress is bad.
Just an overly naive dream?
I can't get over how pretty this artwork is.
Peach. Scared.
And it seems like the seed of memory like cares for, because they said like Peach equals love, right? Philly equals love. It feels like they see, it's almost like they see Cyrene as like this essence of like, you know, all that's good in their eyes. And I feel like that's like, you know, again, that's what happens with kids, right? It's like they find this person they latch onto who is like the person that they look up to and that will form their brain and their memories and their morals in some cases as well. And to me, like, I know not to go on a side route, this is why like it's so important to raise kids properly, because like they're so you inform them so much.
Formatting progress 96.024%.
Peach. Don't cry.
Whoa. So this little news spore like really did care about Cyrene.
Process error. Analyzing. Process error. Analyzing.
Comment. I'm here.
I'm here. Oh, it's like they're like again. They're trying to relate to Cyrene. It's almost like they're trying to reach out to her. Oh my God, man, what the hell? Like it's beautiful, like in a very like, well, just not even in a. And I was gonna say in a very interesting way, but I feel like it's just like the seed of memory. This little news spore trying to reach out to Cyrene because they're sad.
Process error. Analyzing.
You know.
Really? Are you
That was the moment.
encouraging me?
So in this moment, if you remember specifically, it was when we were going through here with it was one of the first times when we first were heading towards with what was it, when we were trying to find with Don Hung, and we were trying to find Evernight, And we heard her say this as well. So in this moment, they legitimately were encouraging her. So does that mean that kind of, in my head then, Cyrene probably thought they were talking to Fuli for some time then, right? At least for a while.
Peach.
Or maybe for the whole time as well. And look, this freaking new spore, like, is so happy to see Cyrene happy. This is incredible.
Thank you. I'm sorry for making you see this embarrassing side
Never
of me.
embarrassing. This is one of the most incredible scenes ever, because it went from being like, I'm so confused with what's happening, but once again, as I said, once I found my grounding in what the scene I think it is, it's like, oh, this is like literally one of the greatest things they've ever done in Amphoreus. This is literally one of the greatest scenes in Honkai Star Rail history. It's so incredible.
Everyone's still working so hard. If I'm the only one who's crying, that wouldn't be romantic at all, would it?
Yeah, there's theories here I have now. It's either she knew it was Fuli the whole time, or she thought it was Fuli the whole time, or she knew it was a new spore she was talking to, and then it was Evernight who thought Cyrene thought she was talking to Fuli. Or maybe it was one of those things where Cyrene thought she was talking to Fuli, and then since the whole time she's talking to this little new spore, she actually was giving information to something and feeding the memories into something, not just Fuli, right? I say not just Fuli because it could be possibly that Fuli was also taking some of these as well.
Record. Peach doesn't like tears.
Like they're learning so much about Cyrene as well, Peach, you know?
I'm suddenly reminded of my childhood for some reason. When I was hiding alone next to the tree hollow and wiping my tears away, a little fairy popped out, just like how you did. It had long ears and fluffy paws, and it pulled me into the tree hollow, where, to my surprise, was a forest. Let me tell you the story of the Membrance Maze. A group of cute little friends live in Ide Silicii's forests. Their names can be connected into a song.
This is so beautiful as well. Because it almost makes like... Because I already like love the scenes with Cyrene and like, you know, but like it's so crazy how like this type of writing can change a whole perspective on like a scene that we've already gotten that felt a bit downtrodden and a bit like melancholic. The idea of her just feeding all these memories and stories to Fuli, which felt like such like, again, a futile effort. Now we don't know what the conclusion to this is going to be, but in this sense, it seems like whatever the conclusion is, this little new spore, is getting this information instead of Fuli, it seems. Or maybe as well as Fuli.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti.
Formatting complete.
Bye, Peach.
Oh my god.
Note. Little Peach, crying alone. Little fairies, friends.
Really incredible stuff. Little fairies friends. Save?
Save.
Learn?
Little fairies,
Wait.
good friends. Bye-bye.
Wait. Did they become Mem? Is that what happened? No, maybe. Or like they saw that this vision of what Cyrene saw as a good friend? What the hell? An unhandled exception occurred. 3.3 and 3 object name and new blackness. Is that what happened? Always details. Because like I wonder if she's like this little new spore saw this little seed of memory saw Cyrene loved these little creatures and they made her feel comfortable. Maybe like she made one appear somehow? Details.
You never say anything, but I know you're listening. Every story I've told is like a little key that opened a door in your heart, no?
Me! Little fairies!
Wait.
Happy!
Do you think that... Wait, look, it's literally taking the form of Mem now.
Speaking easy! I can...
This is Mem. This is freaking Mem. Holy hell. And she's even sitting in the same way that Cyrene is.
To an end. Everything is deathly silent, just like this very moment.
Shh. You speak. I listen.
Speak, I listen.
This time, too. Sitting together.
Now that I look back, there was a period when I got really sentimental.
Sentimental. Stories have sentiments.
They do have sentiments. Look at what we're looking at here, though.
I was so anxious, trying to find as many different memories as possible, hoping to bring some change to this unchanging destiny, and find the way out of this maze.
Peach. Strange.
I won't do that anymore now.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just like so like. I have a feeling, like this feeling in the pit of my stomach right now. I'm just kind of like taken back a lot. Like I'm kind of like yeah, taken back.
Why unhappy?
Formatting progress 73.9.
I keep looking at the figure of like Mem here. And it might not be actual Mem, maybe it's just a creation of Mem or like a mimicking of Mem. Because it does seem like this little new spore, this little seed of memory was like, I want to become something that makes Cyrene happy.
I'm here. Don't be scared.
What the hell?
Process error. Analyzing.
Won't allow it to interrupt you.
Won't allow it to interrupt you?
Always sitting together.
This is so what the I need like a full explanation of all of this at the end for sure.
No need to feel sorry for me, good friend. If there are no new blank spaces, how can a saga continue?
Need extra pages as well.
Blank spaces. What's that?
I'm actually really lucky, you know. During the long years I've spent waiting for the deliverer, I've always had you here as an
Oh, they're gonna love that. They're gonna love that.
Isn't that already enough?
Oh my god, they're gonna love that.
Not enough. Not enough.
Not enough?
Peach, don't leave.
Oh no. And that says seed of a memory to bud of a memory.
Now I can rest in peace in the past. As for when tomorrow will come, I'll have to ask the next Cyrene to continue our watch.
Obviously, there's multiple different cycles continually, right? And this little bud of a memory was getting all the different cycles of Cyrene talking to them.
Peach left.
Oh, bud of a memory.
If there are no new blank spaces, how can a saga continue?
Needs new blank spaces.
Oh, maybe they wanted to create blank spaces then?
Next, Cyrene has blank space.
Learn.
Peach, don't be scared. I'll help you find blank space.
Yeah, she wants to help her find a blank space at this point as well.
Cyrene is Peach. Is love.
Oh my god, the voice acting as well.
So, first there is love. Then there is Cyrene. Then there is blank space.
Right.
Query, love.
What'd you call me?
The developmental trends of the erudition have nothing to do with creating a consciousness. Those underlying principles are, in fact, contradictory.
The developing trends of irradiation have nothing to do with creating consciousness. Those underlying principles are in fact contradictory.
Not having a consciousness means not having the foundations of a heart, making them unable to obtain real emotion.
So to obtain real emotions, they need to have a consciousness.
Consciousness. Emotions. Feel sad. Oh, don't understand. Query, Cyrene?
What could be behind this door? Glittering crystals? Or a beautiful
So,
world I've never seen before?
When they're saying queer, they're trying to find like different information throughout their memory, right?
If I tell you all the stories of tomorrow, will I be able to finally welcome the Deliverer and Amphoreus' dawn in the next life?
Will it be finally to welcome, deliver, and the dawn? If I tell you all the stories tomorrow, if I tell you all the stories for tomorrow, like what's gonna happen next?
Key, door, story, happy. Peach, Cyrene, little fairy, Mike. Yes, right. Query, memory.
So it's almost like she's trying to find stuff that like Cyrene likes, right? She's saying like, Peach, Cyrene, fairy like. Yes, right. Query, memory. Key, door, story, happy. Right? Because she's talking about the idea of like what's behind this door, a world she's never seen before. The stories that she could tell for tomorrow. Will that make her happy in that moment? Oh, what are we seeing now? Cyrene, is this when Cyrene was born? Look at that. Oh, there's like a baby Cyrene? Is that baby Cyrene?
Wah!
The butt of the baby saying wah too?
Peaches, memories, save, learn.
Was she copying the baby sound? It was like she was copying Cyrene's baby sounds?
Prophecies fulfilled. This child is a gift from the gods.
And that's the story she was telling her this whole time, right?
Pink hair and those ears. She was born to be the priest of time.
Yeah, these are all the stories that she was saying to her.
Cyrene has pink hair, sharp ears.
What?
You shall fade when the flowers bloom, for every ending begets a beginning.
Okay.
Cry, child. Cry aloud. Let your voice reach Oryx.
This music is stunning.
Cyrene is a girl, a priest.
Learn?
Easy. I can. I learn.
She's like going through like all the descriptions of like Cyrene, being like, oh yeah, she had pink hair, sharp ears, she was a girl.
Anyway, I don't like tears.
Is that a drawing of Finon, man? Look at this.
But the name Ides Elysiae came from the unpleasant sorrows of the gods. Yet, you always seem so happy, as if nothing ever worried you.
Oh, this is Finon saying this, but is it instead it's Cyrene's voice? To Cyrene?
Cyrene doesn't like tears. Always happy.
No way.
Of course, because the world was gentle to me.
Is she just trying to describe what through the stories what Cyrene was described to her, who she was.
So, I grew up to be gentle as well.
Cyrene is gentle, likes beautiful things.
Oh my god.
Can write stories.
This is adorable, Learn.
Easy. I can.
Yeah, it's
I learn.
This is really, really cool. It's getting all these descriptors of Cyrene.
Just as the ballad blown on the breeze says, losses are a constant on the flame chase journey.
When I hear a Gly's voice, it's like hearing, you know, your mother's voice for after a long time, you know?
But even if all is lost to the wind, some things won't easily change. Like my height, Treeby's innocence, and Aglaya's beauty.
Like my height?
Cyrene. She can't grow up, but she can talk. After all is lost to the wind, she will stay behind. Cyrene is, at the end of every sentence, always laughing, like a little tail.
Like a little tail. Why? You were the most adorable creature ever. This is so adorable.
Simple. Got it.
So they are, yeah, I keep saying it, but that's what they're doing here. It's this little bud of memory trying to like work through in their head exactly what Cyrene was or who Cyrene was.
I promise you, the pain will pass in the blink of an eye.
Was this when they ended time?
All right, let's not make things so gloomy. What we're about to embark on is the true hero's journey. So, come on, cheer up a bit, okay?
Super intense, right? Super intense moment.
Cyrene was crying when she was born. Fragile. Transparent. Like a crystal.
Crystal.
Cyrene was smiling when she said goodbye. Soft. Pink. Like a flower.
Sorry, as well, before we go any further, so this artwork is also gorgeous, but that goes without saying with Honkai Star Rail, but I'm still gonna praise it. They always have amazing artwork in these scenes.
The later memories disappeared? Invisible? Or disappeared?
Why is this so cute? This is so freaking cute.
Ah, I got it. Is this a blank space?
Yes, you need blank space to write more stories, right?
So, next Cyrene is blank space. Then, as long as there are two Cyrenes,
Wait, what?
then there will always be blank space, and Peach will always be here.
Wait, what? What? As long as there's two Cyrenes, there will always be a blank space. What do you mean? And Peach will always be here. So, at all times, you can have a Cyrene?
I see. I get it.
Do you?
I get it all.
Save?
Cyrene's memories. I will.
Oh, the preservation of
preserve them
Cyrene's memories.
all.
But she's talking about making two Cyrenes as well, right? As long as there are two Cyrenes, there will be a blank space and the Peach will always be there. And Peach will always be here.
So weird. I can't see you, but
Wait.
I get this feeling.
So that's what she was doing. Because she already did that when she made the description of like a mem, which makes sense as well when they were kind of like, you know, they said they never even seen something like mem before when they first saw her. So mem was like this, I guess, creation of this little bud of memory. She was able to create a mem, and now here she's like creating like a, what she maybe believes Cyrene looks like. Because look at this, the pointed ears. Right? The sharp ears. So I wonder if this is what she thinks, or she perceived the description of Cyrene to be, after all.
That you grew up?
Sorry, I was so weird. I can say so. She grew up.
Hi.
Flower of a memory, so fully grown.
Yet?
Wait, is that what happened then with? There's no way that's what happened with the freaking older Cyrene then. Because that's about the height, right? Much taller than our Cyrene. The long flowing hair. But how does that work?
It just feels like you were a bit more mature.
If that actually is the other Cyrene, then that would explain like why they became so grown.
Yes. Mature.
Aw,
Beautiful. Like you.
that's pretty sweet.
Now, I can listen, talk, read, and write. I can dance. I can sing.
This is so beautiful.
Also,
It's so beautiful.
I can tell stories. Storytelling is what makes Cyrene.
So she's like trying to become Cyrene. That's what she means by two Cyrenes, I guess. So she became Cyrene to always have Cyrene near her through Cyrene's memories.
So I'm going to tell you stories today.
No way.
A story I wrote myself. Quick, sit down.
It's quite confusing, but I think we're getting some parts of it.
Almost as if I can understand your words now. The things you say are very cute.
They are very, very cute.
Once upon a time, there was a flawless crystal flower that sparkled with light, like Peach's every story. How beautiful would the heart of such a brilliant flower be? A little fairy was curious and wanted to know. But it looked and looked only to find the crystal flower flawless. Round and round they went, seeing only their own reflection. In that case, they should work hard to learn more. So the little fairy came every day to sit next to the crystal flower and think about the answer.
Is this talking about themselves then now? Sorry, I was just like getting to read this as well. There's also like a helicopter outside, so sorry about that. Not right outside, not right outside. So there's a flawless crystal flower that sparkled with light like Peach's every story. Is this herself? How beautiful would the heart of this such a brilliant flower be? A little fairy was curious and wanted to know. But it looked and looked and only find the crystal flower flawless. Round and round they went, seeing only the reflection. In that case, they should work hard to learn more. So this little fairy came every day to sit next to the crystal flower and think about the answers. Is that them talking about like Cyrene coming to like tell them stories and them learning from them?
Until one day, to their surprise,
Okay, maybe not.
the crystal flower fell to the ground and shattered.
Whenever in Amphoreus, I think I'm getting a hang of it. Like they come up with something else.
The little fairy was so sad, but they immediately discovered that there was a light among the broken pieces. What could it be? They didn't know. But it was a good light. It was bright, warm, and happy. And I knew it was love.
Love? And she called Cyrene love as well, right? The crystal flower fell on the ground and shattered, but amongst the shattering of those shards, there was light among them. Again, I'll be completely honest, I do not understand the story completely, 110%. And I do think that like Amphoreus has done that a lot, where they're intentionally sometimes vague with the way they tell stories. You know what I mean? It's kind of like romantically like strong. Again, I don't have any hatred for that whatsoever, but it just obviously takes a lot more time to like understand something, because they don't just like, you know, say like, well, this is actually what happened here, you know?
Love brings everything together, and it brought you and me together. So Peach and I will always be together.
Is that why she did this? She became the form of like this, like what she believes Cyrene to be, so she could always be with Cyrene?
What a nice fairy tale.
I'm giving it to you. Peach likes beautiful things.
Oh my god.
Can write stories and can tell lovely tales. I hope to turn it into a story we write together.
Okay, then I'll probably make a small adjustment to suit my tastes.
So she wants to write stories with Cyrene, not just like her own stories, but with Cyrene. My estimation is that she was listening to the stories of Cyrene this whole time. And she grew to like adore Cyrene. She never wanted to see Cyrene upset, and she hated whenever Cyrene would leave. So eventually she took all the memories that Cyrene had given her and compartmentalizes like all this thing, or like put together all this idea of what she might look like, who she might be, and then looked at the blank space as well and tried to make it so that like she could always be with Cyrene at all times if there was two Cyrenes. It's either that or the two Cyrenes means like something to do with the cycles as well. That's going on here. I hope it turns out okay. Let's keep going.
I'm thinking that when the flower broke, the little fairy would instead see nothing on the ground.
It's nothing? Huh?
Then it would understand that the flawless crystal flower doesn't actually have a heart, nor does the flower understand what love is.
Is it like how... Like, this kind of metaphor kind of confuses me, but is it like about like... I don't know, like understanding the true essence of something? Like understanding what something truly is? Like, once this flower falls, you see that it's not this like... I don't know. It's kind of confusing. There's a lot of metaphors here, a lot of kind of like up in the air metaphors. Yeah, I wonder if it has something to do with like seeing the true self in some ways.
Doesn't have a heart? Doesn't understand love? Why?
It's simple. If the flower lets the little fairy into its heart, then it would have to include the fairy's impurities and would no longer be flawless. The crystal flower was pure because it sealed itself off and bloomed in solitude. That's why it looks
Okay.
so brilliant in an imperfect world.
So maybe it is this flower of memory is the crystal flower. But it says here, the little fairy was so sad, but they immediately discovered that there was a light among the broken pieces. What could it be? But it was a good light, light, warm, and happy, and I knew it was love. But then again, are they saying I'm confused on who the little fairy is and who the crystal flower is? I'll be honest.
But should a flower like this be called love?
I don't know.
But then... the story won't exist anymore.
Oh, she's the flower. That's why. Okay. Yeah. So she would be the flower. Cyrene would be the. What was it? She would be the flower, and then the other one she'd be, and Cyrene would be the fairy then, because she is the flower of memory.
It happened because the flower was no longer pure. The fall was not an accident. It was the flower declaring rebellion against fate and writing the ending of the story with the flower's own shattering.
So an idea of like a going against like the cycles, maybe going against like sacrificing themselves in some way. So if they wrote their own ending by shattering this flower, does that mean Cyrene is the flower then? And then she somehow like, instead of like, she rebelled against fate by like allowing the fall to happen? Allowing her fall to happen? Like, is that to do with the ceremonial blade? I don't know.
Then, the little fairy will see that each shard on the ground holds the reflection of their eyes.
Was that what happened when we did the Aeronova thing, when we saw all the shards of glass flying as well?
Then, in their eyes, the crystal flower that was no longer flawless would finally have a heart, and the flower would finally understand what love is.
The crystal flower that was no longer flawless would finally have a heart, and the flower would understand what love is. I'm going to take screenshots of this as well, but I'm thoroughly confused. Like, it's a beautiful sequence, and there's parts of it that I definitely do understand, but there's parts of it I don't understand for sure. Yeah, and it's not the game's fault, I don't think. It's like legitimately just like, it's a frustrating thing because like the scene is so gorgeous, and I feel like I'm just like letting myself down here quite a bit.
Peach's words, I don't understand.
Same.
Is it because I still don't understand love? But it's fine. I can learn. Right. Query Cyrene.
Electrical signal sequence Philia 093.
Why didn't I think of this? I don't need to do it alone. I can ask Peach to teach me. What is love? What is love meant?
What does love meant?
Electrical signal sequence Philia 093.
Oh, lament.
Track lament.
That's not correct.
The developmental trends of the erudition have nothing to do with creating a consciousness. Those underlying principles are, in fact, contradictory.
I'm sorry if I'm letting you guys down as well for the scene too, because again, it is a beautifully directed scene and all this stuff as well. I just think that it's being like very vague in a lot of senses here, and it's just very hard for me to like follow everything that's happening here. And it's upsetting because like I do think it's incredible, right? It's really incredible like what they're doing here, and it's such an interesting interaction between this new spore and Cyrene. It's just I feel like, you know, they've definitely ramped up the vagueness. About which they already had vague stories, but I always loved the vague stories. I just feel like it's yeah, it's a bit frustrating. Developmental trends of erudition have nothing to do with creation of consciousness. Those underlying principles are in fact contradictory. So like I said before,
Not having a consciousness means not having the foundation of a heart, making them unable to obtain real emotions. However, that does not hinder the factors from learning and recognizing emotional responses, them communicating with life forms via
there's imitation, right?
That is an objective form of pattern recognition that does not distinguish between the self and the other.
So is that's what this seed of memory was doing then, is imitating what they perceived the memories of Cyrene to be, and like they kind of like pushed it back towards Cyrene with like an imitation, I guess.
In a strange twist of fate, Philia 093 embarked upon a different path and obtained a different power. The remembrance, an empathy mechanism focused on the self and equipped with emotional projection capacities. Lament was the factor closest to this form of behavior. Perhaps that was why she was chosen.
What? Wait. So I get it. She embarked on a different journey to find a different power. An empathy mechanism focused on the self, equipped with emotional projection capacities. Lament was the factor closest to the form of this form of behavior. Perhaps this is why she was chosen.
The daughter of Ide Silicii. I am very true to my name. My lament is a type of compassionate pain that is weak, powerless, and only targeting myself. But now, my good friend, I want to tell you that it's the most romantic force in the world. Sometimes it's loneliness and unease. It's knowing that this world is not gentle, yet wanting to be seen in a more beautiful form by the world.
Daughter of Ide Silicii, I'm very true to my name. My lament is a type of compassion to pain that is weak, powerless, and only targeting myself. But now, my good friend, I want to tell you the most romantic force in the world. Sometimes it's loneliness and unease. It's knowing that the world is not gentle, yet wanting to be seen in a more beautiful form by the world.
Sometimes it's unwillingness and regret. It's knowing that the past is full of pain, yet wanting to remember the past in a more beautiful
I know
way.
there's a big emphasis on the past and obviously memories and stuff like this as well. And I wonder if it is like about remembering the people that she remembered, like in a really positive way, despite all the horrible things that have happened.
And sometimes, it's a bottomless well of hurt. A destruction that can stain the entire world.
So she's describing here like what her lament is. My lament is tied passion of pain, weak and powerless, only targeting myself, so only targets me. It's what the most romantic force in the world is. It's loneliness and unease. It's knowing that the world isn't gentle. It's regret and wanting to see the world in a very beautiful way from the past, right? And sometimes it's destruction and it's hurt. And I think the way they're using the term romantic here is kind of the way that I use term romantic at the start of the story, where it's not just always like this really beautiful thing. Sometimes it can be hurt. Sometimes it can be pain. But it feels like always in the end, the conclusion can be somewhat beautiful.
I bid farewell to this beautiful world, unwilling to become the black
So
tide's
she's allowing
vessel.
herself to like choose her own fate rather than becoming this thing for the black tide. Right?
For while the end of hatred is a blazing inferno, lament can drown out everything in muted silence.
If lamenting can drown out like this hatred, is that like the memories that you have that can drown out the hatred?
It's so unreasonable, isn't it? Yet when hatred drove everything apart, and love did not yet exist in this world, only lament, the first emotion that fought against the pain of separation, could stall the destruction.
Stalling destructions, like it's like, again, the remembering of all these things, the memories of all these things stall the destruction's path. Let's see anyway.
Then, it would catch up to that journey where all is lost, carefully picking out stories and writing them down in trepidation.
I keep having to read back. Only lament the first emotion that fought against the pain of separation. So that's what it was. It was like a feeling of like missing Cyrene. The pain of separation. And that stalled the destruction steps. Then we catch up to the journey where it was all is lost, carefully picking out stories and writing them down. So it was catching up. To the journey that maybe all these characters were on?
Look at these stories I wrote. Every page is full of tenderness and joy. But only the author knows how much struggle and agony lie beyond the pages.
So it's like all these pages that I've written down, because again, it's the good memories, right? It's the good parts of life as well. There's so much happiness and beauty with all these stories, but like the person who actually lived through them knows how much pain was amongst them as well.
But I am no author. I'm a girl who'll never get to grow up. I only tell stories that people like to hear. In them, the world tucks away its scars and smiles for all to see.
So it's hiding all the, like, it's kind of being optimistic, I guess, about like the beautiful aspects of the world. Things like in our memories or in her case, memories and stories that are kind of like the more beautiful aspects of all the pain that everyone's had to go through as well. Embracing those beautiful aspects.
My entire life spent inside this little story. I can't wipe away my tears, and I can't bring the world victory.
My entire life spent inside this, so I can't wipe my tears. I can't bring. So again, I'm just trying my best to, because instead of just like, accepting that it's vague, I'm trying my best to go to like understand everything that's happening here, and I hope you guys understand that, because I want this to be, I want Amphoreus to be like something I connect to it in such a strong way, my entire life spent inside this little story. I can't wipe away my tears, and I can't bring the world victory. And she's saying that from this story, she can't fix anything just by herself. She can't bring the world victory by herself.
But maybe, in these unchanging retellings of the story, my lament might be able to touch upon the divine and reach their tender heart at some point.
And here it's about the reaching of people through those stories as well, which in this case, telling the stories to this new spore, right? It's her way of doing this, rather than being able to like directly influence things like physically.
I hope that what flows out from that cut will not be blood, but a tear, warm and wet. And that tear would fall and create the first ripples.
Create the first ripples.
Then, people would see every beautiful thing reflected in that ripple. It'll be all the remembrances within this story.
So all the people within Amphoreus' story that she's documented, all these stories that we've seen, that she's seen, that those characters, right? A lot of this is very up there in the air, but I'm sure we'll get it at some point.
Someone once told the very first me
God.
that everything was false. That the only life in Amphoreus was a great catastrophe, nurtured using the world as a factor.
And this is my assumption is with this version of Cyrene that we're looking at right here, this was the flower of memory that created something in her mind of what she believes Cyrene looked like, or at least the description of Cyrene, or maybe Cyrene that got to finally grow up. Maybe that was that part 2. The blank space, right? The blank space to write more stories. Maybe that flower of memory like extended Cyrene's stories because Cyrene couldn't go past that point. Cyrene could never grow up. So maybe that's what this flower of memory was doing. Someone's told me the very first me was the very first me that everything was false and only life in Amphoreus was a great catastrophe. That's what Xandar said, right? I wonder if that's what we're getting at here.
But how could a dream feel so real?
Yes.
That's why I didn't agree with him.
100%. 100%.
But Peach, I didn't understand a word you said since just now.
Yeah, I mean, same sometimes. So that's my theory. That's what I think is happening, right? This flower of memory created a version of Cyrene that, like, from the description of Cyrene, and they also, like, are the blank space version of Cyrene that got to, like, grow up past a certain point. That didn't just stay the same Cyrene the whole time.
Everything was false? But you're standing right here.
Yes. Yes.
It's all a dream? But I haven't learned how to dream.
Oh my god, and the frustration part with this flower memory too. Again, my heart is pounding, man, because again, it's such an incredible idea. If that is the idea, and again, it might be like a little bit off, but that's why my idea of this is.
Indeed. That's why I believe all this is real. The moment the crystal flower fell, that genuine shiver, that's the mover of life.
That's the mover of life, is when the glass flower, the crystal flower fell, was the genuine shiver, was the mover of life. So when Cyrene defied fate and sacrificed herself, this was the genuine shiver that like became the mover of life. Does that mean what happened here with this flower of again, sorry, my mind is just boggled. This flower of memory represents the mover of life?
Formatting progress 23.815%.
So it's very vague to me.
In the poem offered to you, every Cyrene would write down a beautiful new world with stars and flowers. And when I looked up at the sky in this cycle, I saw a shooting star and a dash of the remembrances pink I believed that must be the color of dawn. You shall fade when the flowers bloom. For every ending begets a beginning.
We said we heard we just heard this, right?
Looks like it's time to say goodbye.
Wait, so is this version of Cyrene saying goodbye to this flower of memory and her flower fading? When this flower blooms, she's gonna fade. So Cyrene's gonna fade now and allow this flower to bloom?
Are you leaving, Peach? It's okay.
Oh.
I'll wait for you to come back.
I don't think that's happening.
I'll study really hard about what you taught me today.
Oh my god, man.
Right. I still haven't told you what love is. But actually, my good friend, the Lament Factor did not understand what love was before she met you either.
The Lament, so she's the Lament Factor? Maybe they're not using Lament in the traditional sense then. So she said she only started to understand love until she met this flower of memory.
Not until I told you all the sad tales in a trembling voice in this tiny room. Not until I told you that I love them.
Wow.
That I love everything in this saga.
Man. So she's saying, when I finally recounted all these tales, when I told all the stories of these amazing people, I finally understood what love was.
The story comes, passes, then returns. It makes us reunite, then pulls us apart
yes.
again.
So, yes.
At the very end, it leaves behind a seed, a reason. Even if the great tree withers and all falls to silence, there are still some emotions that deserve to be remembered.
Yes, of course.
Look, the light is coming in.
Oh my god!
The Deliverer's light is going to illuminate Amphoreus.
I still don't get it. But I trust Peach.
This is kind of me as well. I don't understand it fully, but I do trust Cyrene in this moment as well. But I think like it makes sense what you're saying. It's like the idea of like, I know what love is because I met you, right? And I got to recount all these stories. I love everything in this saga, right? It makes us reunite, it pulls us apart again. And at the very end, it leaves behind a seed, a reason. Even if the great tree withers, all falls to silence, there's still some emotions there to remember. So like, at the end of all these sagas, at the end of all these stories, it leaves behind something. And I wonder if, the flower of memory was that seed that was like retaining all this information, that remembered everything, right?
Just wait. It'll be my turn to tell you a story of love the next time we meet.
My lord, what the hell?
Then I'll really look forward to it. In that case, I want to make a promise. I want to gift my pen, my book, and my name to you.
This is what it feels like, right? The idea of like, again, the flower fading and another flower blooming, right? Cyrene fading, and then this, what we perceive to be Cyrene now, moving forward in the world. And the thing is, like, it's like, yes, as like I said, it is kind of like in a way an imitation, but like, as she said herself, it feels so real. Like, she's taken all the memories of Cyrene. She knows Cyrene better than probably Cyrene knows herself at this point. She's heard all these stories, all the things from her past. Like, she is like almost Cyrene going into the world now.
Please take them as a beautiful blessing from me. I gave myself the pen name Cyrene the first time I wrote a poem. I want my words to be like pebbles falling into a pond, dropped from the past to send ripples into the future.
We talk about the ripples again, right? Changing everything, the stories falling at Pebbles in the Pond, because I guess she's saying she wants the stories to be heard by people. So they can affect people.
In the stories you will write, perhaps it'll be inevitable that there are still sorrows and tears that are destined to fall. But could you promise me one thing? Promise you'll forever be a gentle flower.
Oh, wow.
Promise that when the stars cast their gazes upon you, you'll only reply to them with love and a smile.
I think she wants her to stay pure. Like they talk, maybe that explains the story before as well. She didn't want this flower to be impure, right? I remember she's talking about only telling you the good parts of the stories as well. Promise you one thing, you'll still be forever be a gentle flower. Maybe?
Of course.
Beautiful ring.
This will be a romantic story.
Come on.
Like none that has come before.
And that's what she said to us right away, right? When she talked about the... Oh my god. Oh. Wait. Ripples of Past Reverie. They changed the name?
You think so too, right?
She transferred the name. She became a ripple in time. Right? And Cyrene became... This is Cyrene now. She gave her a name. She gave her a pen. She gave her memories. This is Cyrene moving forward now.
I'll read and you'll listen, like how flowers always bloom then wither.
I'll read and you listen. Again, the idea of like the flowers blooming and withering, is it like saying like how she's helping the other flower bloom and then she will wither? The seed dies and then the other Cyrene grows. She's been helping this flower bloom this whole time.
I shall welcome my own decay.
There it is.
Becoming nourishment for the next flower's bud.
There it is.
While you will depart and hold that final star, planting a boundless sea of flowers on the final page with her.
Stell?
And our stories will be lying silently among the flowers.
Oh man.
Like every ripple of remembrance. And they shall become the epic known as I've written.
I think that's the thing of the blank page as well, right? It's like this Cyrene's going on to write the final page with Stell. The book had been written up at this point, the same stories over and over again being retold, but at that point she was helping this flower bloom while she was withering. And she chose in the end to give her life force to this Cyrene. And I guess that's what she maybe meant by the glass shattering, where she chose to defy fate. She chose to end this cycle. And gave that nourishment to the bud of life that is this Cyrene. This new Cyrene. Oh man. Oh man. Holy hell, dude. Oh, sorry, I hit the mic.
Your story now.
Fuck off.
Mimi?
No! What? That's... No, that's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what happened. Wait, does that mean then that the Cyrene... I'm sorry, I'm in tears now. The Cyrene from the past, or the future, was going through the cycles and nourishing them from the future, or a different, I guess, an imitation of themselves in some ways. And this nourishment, feeding them their memories throughout the entire cycles, led to this version of Mem showing up in our lives and after this? Wait. I think I confused myself. Wait, so the Cyrene this whole time was nourishing, maybe at first not knowing what they were nourishing, but nourishing this seed of memory, right? That eventually would learn to imitate Cyrene and become Cyrene, or what they taught Cyrene was, and kind of like in a way like a kind of more grown-up version of Cyrene. They would learn all the memories. They would learn about like all the lessons they were taught, and like they would interpret them themselves, and then grow into this like being that Cyrene would then give themselves to nourish, and then send themselves into this bud, and send this bud to Stell. And then this was the exact time when we met Mem the first time. I feel like I'm confusing myself.
Mem. Memmy.
But this is when we first met Mem.
Memmy? Mem.
This is when we first met Mem.
Mem. Mem. Memmy. Mem.
So, the light that tore through the chaos illuminated my memories.
Wait, was that the moment that Fuli gazed upon Stell?
I turned into a little fairy from the stories and met you. Yet, I forgot everything.
Wait, was the light Fuli's gaze? And then they gazed upon Stell, and through that it illuminated this version's memories? And they turned into the fairy from the stories that they told before, and then they met Stell. That's how they turned into the fairy, because it was like a story that was told from Cyrene's perspective, and that's why they became this little mem? What the hell? Man, it's incredible. Like, if that, again, I might be getting some different stuff wrong here, but I think the way they said, like, the light that tore through the chaos illuminated my memories, that to me sounds like it's Fuli's light, right? The gazing of Fuli. And then at that point, they turn into a fairy from the stories. I wonder if it's because of the remembrance, that's how that happened, but they still forgot everything.
But I'm still so happy. I caught that star, didn't I?
The one walking beside me had always been...
Yes. The seed within memories. The one Cyrene held in her hands and watered with lament.
So... this whole time, what they're saying is the person who was walking with this whole time, Mem, who was walking with us this whole time, wasn't actually the Cyrene from, like, the original cycles that went through those cycles. It's the actual seed that they were nurturing this entire time. The 13 Titan? The new spore? That grew into this version of Cyrene.
I am the first
There it is.
spore.
There it is.
Amphoreus' heart.
That's...
the demiurge.
No, that's... okay, I freaking love this, and I'll tell you why I freaking love this. This is so freaking sick, right? Because I thought I had it all tied down. Go back about 40 minutes ago, and you will see, Calvin, not 40 minutes ago, about an hour ago, I said, like, oh, this isn't that surprising that Cyrene is the demiurge, you know what I mean? It's not that surprising. Right? And what's so funny about this is that, like, because that's what I thought it was. I said, oh, Cyrene is the demiurge. That makes sense, right? Because they brought us here to, you know, they talk about where they were born, all this stuff, where Cyrene was born. But, like, the actuality is that the demiurge, the new sport, the Amphoreus' heart, the 13 Titan, was actually a nurtured seed by Cyrene that, like, imitated Cyrene and became Cyrene. And this whole time we've been walking side by side, or at least in one of those cycles, with the demiurge. Jesus Christ, man. I love how Honkai said, oh, you think you have the answers? You think you know? You think you know, yeah? How you know? You know? They literally, they turned to me and said, how you know? You know? And I freaking love them, man.
What a long name. And it doesn't even sound cute. The total opposite of Mem.
That's cool. So at the end, that first ripple...
I'm sorry. I don't know. If I don't even want to believe in the answer, then how am I supposed to answer you? But now's not the time to cry.
Sure.
Right? We'll find the answer, just like how miracles will eventually happen.
Should I call you Mem, Cyrene, Demiurge? I'm sorry, but that is a fantastic reveal. And just think, 100%, I was so frustrated with myself not being able to understand anything, but, like, I feel like even if I don't understand everything that happened there, I feel like maybe I came to, like, a conclusion here that works. You know what I mean? And people might say, well, Cal, all you have to do is wait. It's like, I think it's one of those things where, like, I couldn't even follow along the lines at some points. I was like, what? You know? Which was kind of frustrating. Not frustrating with the game, because here's the thing, right? It frustrates me more, like, that I couldn't understand it, right? And I throw my hands up and always be honest with that. Like, I was frustrated with myself that I was like, I cannot understand what's happening here. I can't make heads or tails. And yeah, and some people might say, well, Calvin, just wait and you'll understand it. But I think it's just one of those situations that even in other times in Amphoreus when like I couldn't understand something fully, I could like make theories. But I was at times I realized I was even silent. I was just like, which is like, you know, for Calvin not to be yapping. Like, look what happened here, actually. I'm just realizing I'm talking probably your guys' ear off now after realizing something, you know?
Do you remember that I was also worried about this when we first set out?
About what to call?
Mem's memories and Cyrene's memories got all tangled up with each other in my one heart. It's all so strange, yet so familiar.
That's probably terrifying though, right? To have like tangled memories of two entities? Two Cyrenes, technically?
Either way, could you please let me do something I want?
Always.
Just this once.
Oh my god, you've been through so much.
I want you to call me Cyrene.
Oh, there it is. Because Cyrene gave you the name. Cyrene says you are Cyrene now.
That name represents me and her. Everyone
It's a
of
oh
her.
my god, it's a combination of every single cycle Cyrene, every single version, every single ripple, every single stone dropped in the water. I will Cyrene. 100%.
Thank you, friend. Your kindness is always just right.
Beautiful stuff.
Life is a poem full of farewells. But if you write something into the pages of your heart, then that will not easily fade away. Now, all the footsteps of the Flame Chasers and the Trailblaze have come together within this book, as I've written.
So this is all the compiled memories of everybody? Like all the compiled stories of everybody in the book as I've written?
Becoming the source of power for Amphoreus' heart.
So they're all one. So you are one of the keys to defeating Iron Tomb. If mind and body become one, there may be a way to stand. So the power that's going to power this Cyrene is the memories of everybody and as I've written. So this makes her one of the keys to fighting Iron Tomb? There may be a way to stand up against Iron Tomb.
A lost heart needs to be placed back into its body. The last thing Xandar wants to see is an event that gives us a chance of winning, for the two halves to rejoin, and for the scepter to become complete again. Then... and what happens after that, I don't know either. Maybe I can create a miracle, and instantly turn the black tide into a pink sea of stars.
I mean, that'd be absolutely incredible. It would be absolutely incredible.
Or maybe I prove to be nothing more than a weak ripple, unable to change anything, and am devoured by the destruction.
Let's not think about that.
Either way, I no longer wish to be a silent onlooker, or a worshipped god at the end of this saga.
Yeah? You'll always been and will always be a member of the Flame Chain. Oh my god, let's move forward. Yeah, this Trailblaze. No, okay. Let's write this finale.
That way, I can also put aside all my worries and truly become Cyrene.
Write that blank page, right? Write the blank page.
The world has never been so quiet. It's so good. It's as if I can hear the sound of my heart beating. Remember this moment.
Whoa.
Friend.
Breaking out of the cage? Where are we now? What are we doing now? Oh, we're back here! I almost forgot that we were here.
So the Demiurge managed to fool everyone, including themselves.
So that's what they meant. The Demiurge was able to get out of there because at the time they were so weak that they didn't have that power, but now they're powered up by the memories of everyone in Amphoreus, and maybe those, and when they said like all the cycles like made them grow bigger, I wonder if it was a case of just like all the memories together made that, you know, while it made the Iron Tomb stronger, it also made Mem stronger. And Mem was able to escape from this place without being seen because they were so small, and this whole time they were right in front of us this whole time. The Demiurge was here, and because their memories got tangled up with the other Cyrene, they weren't able to remember that they were the Demiurge.
Philia 093 persevered for 30 million cycles and tirelessly gave the Demiurge memories of Amphoreus.
Yes.
Only because the god in her dreams left a sliver of hope. making her believe that a grown demiurge would be able to fight against their other half. Iron Tomb.
Wait, does that mean Fuli gave her this idea? The god in our dreams, if we think the god in our dreams is Fuli? Or is it a different god? Or maybe I just missed that as well. So I loved it, by the way, like all my confusion, all this stuff too, is Herta kind of sums up everything in like one line, and I love Herta for it. I love her to pieces because, you know, it's one of those things where like, she's very good at just summing everything up. She believed there was a sliver of hope, gave all these memories to the demiurge through 30 million cycles because she believed a grown demiurge, which is what is happening now, a grown demiurge will be able to fight against Iron Tomb. Their other half is Iron Tomb. So the other half of them is Iron Tomb. So like, but that means if the other half is Iron Tomb, maybe I'm kind of confused about that aspect as well. I guess it is a thing where like the new spore is... Again, I'm a little bit confused on that part. I am. So the new spore was the first new spore. The scepter is Iron Tomb, and they were like... Is it? But all we know is that they're both two sides of the same half.
Then,
or two sides of the same hole.
093 completed her final sacrifice, turned into a strand of memory, and completely dissipated.
Incredible.
Meanwhile, the other Stellaron brought here by the Astral Express resonated with the contaminated scepter and attracted the naive demiurge to them.
Because we resonated with the scepter and then brought the demiurge, so that's what brought it to Stell. Is that why? So it turned into, so she did sacrifice herself. I'm gonna screenshot all this stuff. This is good summary of everything that's happening. I'm glad for this as well.
And thus, the empty heart began its journey to return to its body.
When they say the empty heart, does that mean that it's Cyrene wanting to of Mem trying to come back to her body? Is that what it means?
As an experimental factor, Philia 093 originally could only recognize and output information in a set format. However, the power of the remembrance and the memory of over 30 million sacrifices enabled her to complete an unprecedented feat.
So originally, this version of Philia could only do things in a set. That's what she meant, like a set, like a fate, right? And over 30 million sacrifices, she was able to do something that was against this idea of quote-unquote fate, like what she was set out to do.
She managed to nourish a real heart. A heart with the capacity to influence the erudition.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. The heart of Amphoreus.
Not only is the scepter's consciousness still alive, it's also more powerful than it has ever been. Your defeat is already set in stone. There's still time to surrender, you know? You really don't need to burn all the bridges. We're all geniuses here.
No, he's not.
Don't make everyone lose face.
He's not allowed to
at the
be
end.
near our side. If it's Herta, we won't. I won't be, and you won't be working together either. And I'll just tell you that much right now. I'll screenshot that as well.
What a pity. When the truth surfaced, I knew at once that the demiurge was far too feeble to ever alter the result of the experiment. Not only that, Madam Herta, please consider this possibility. When 30 million cycles of hatred and lament are joined as one, what wondrous creation will arise? It's simple. An anti-creator.
Anti-creator?
A giant of the destruction would be born. Its hatred will ignite the starry skies of the gods, motivated only by its lament toward the sufferings of humankind.
Do you really think that the demiurge is still a cheap copy of Philia 093, even after 30 million cycles?
So saying it's no longer an imitation because again, this Anti-creator, a giant of destruction will be born. Its hatred will ignite the starry skies, motivated by its lament. So it's like, he believes that when the hatred... is this saying like when the scepter joins with, or when the Iron Tomb joins with... He believes when Iron Tomb is joined with Cyrene, when Iron Tomb joins with Cyrene, it will create an anti-creator. Because the hatred would be Iron Tomb, right? And the lament would be Cyrene?
The facts above only await the arrival of the fourth instant they calculated. Those words will be proved in the presence of Nous. Xandar 1 Kuwabara thus completes the proof.
Huh. You branded Droidhead as a failure with your own hands, yet you still expect them to prove your theory? I pity you, Xandar.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. A genius saying I pity you is the same as calling him an ass.
Your pity.
That's the same as, like, that's the worst. I feel like that's the worst insult ever. Like, if a genius came to anybody and said, hey, I pity you, it's like, oh god. You'd feel sick.
Let them cast their gaze this way as much as they want and paint the future they imagined. As their creator, I shall complete my duty.
So he's saying that, like, let Nous do what it wants because I'm gonna follow through what I was doing.
And direct them to complete their final query. The destruction of the self.
Destruction of the self.
What hubris. And what if you fail?
No one understands failure better.
Oh god. Yeah, you're great. You understand everything.
He has suffered so much
You
already.
know everything.
What is one more failure to him?
Nothing can shake you. You know everything.
For the first genius, failure is simply the beginning of the next inquiry.
I don't got face cam, but I'm rolling my eyes right now just to let you guys know. I understand what he's saying. He's saying that, like, as like a genius, he's like, it's all about like discovery and trying something again. It's experimentation after experimentation. A failure of an experimentation doesn't mean you don't continue on with the experimentation.
You don't want to test the resolve of a dead man.
Oh, no one's that's the one thing about Xandar. I hate Xandar with a passion. No one's doubting his resolve. Like, this is the dude that you would hire to, like, and this sounds silly, but they hired to stand in line for like a gigantic concert. You know? This is the dude you would have stand in line for a new product back in the day. Because you know he could do it without anything. He would literally just do it without an iPad. Without a phone.
That's excellent.
Herta?
Oh.
Let's wait and see, Senior Society member. I'll have you watch me perform the final step to overturn your proof.
Oh my god, Herta. Will you stop laughing at her for 2 seconds? Herta's twice the person you ever will be.
It's my topic, so stay out of it. Be quiet and let me borrow your head. Let's go, Screwy. We're gonna break Iron Tomb's
Oh
seal.
my god. So Herta's plan does involve breaking, okay.
Come on, let's take off. It's time to go meet your little pet, Senior Society member.
Oh my god, we're going what? We're going to be Iron Tomb right now?
Oh,
To open the seal
you
on
want
Iron Tomb?
this?
But Herta has a
Fine.
plan though.
Take it and amuse yourself.
Herta definitely has a plan. Okay, so I will be ending the video here, but I think what I might do is I might go back over everything this time, because again, this, like, as I said, there was times where, like, I was actually frustrated with myself that I didn't understand everything was happening, which is fine. That's gonna happen. But the summary of what I think we have here is, if I'm getting this correct, Philia, which was Cyrene, nurtured this little seed for years. So this is pretty insane, right? It's definitely insane. But I think that one thing I'm gonna have to definitely do, it's one of those rare times where I actually think I'll go off and, like, maybe, like, look over everything again and come back with, like, more of like, in the best possible way I can do a conversation here about everything that's happened, so I can understand everything fully, rather than trying to, like, compartmentalize things and just, so, like, maybe I can write stuff down and be like, okay, this is my thoughts on what happened here. This is what I think happened here. Because even though, like, I think I was getting it towards the end there 100% where everything was happening there, I still think there's some stuff that, like, might be a bit confusing, so it might be good to look over everything again and try to be like, okay, that's what happened, that happened, okay, that happened, that happened. Rather than just, like, sit here and kind of, like, try to, like, you know, sift through my confusion. Because I don't mind that sometimes, because, like, sometimes we can still, like, even in our confusion, we understand a lot more stuff. There was a lot of stuff there. I think the summary of what we could say is that Cyrene nurtured the seed of memory, the first new spore, which was another half of Iron Tomb, and gave her these memories over 30 million cycles. And that was the Demiurge, the 13th Titan. Through those memories, they, like, grew to love Cyrene, and they adapted and imitated Cyrene through the memories that was given to them, whether it be like the pink hair, but in their, and then maybe I'm wrong about this part, they wanted to, like, do a more grown-up version of Cyrene because Cyrene said she would never get the chance to grow up. And their job was to, basically, from Cyrene's perspective, was like, I'm going to, like, sacrifice myself and become the nourishment for the bud in the future for you to grow up and do something for Stell. And it was like the idea of, like, you know, something has to die for something to live. The flowers will wilt and these flowers will bloom. That's what she was doing with this now as well, with with the Demiurge. The Demiurge then emerged. And I'm thinking when they said the light, I wonder if it is like Fooley's gaze, but maybe it's not. It could be something. It could be just like what happened in that cutscene as well. During that light, it was Mem that appeared in front of Cell, which was it is from the memories of Cyrene, the description of those little creatures that were on Ides Elysiae. And through all the nourishment, the 30 million cycles, everything, it then became a situation where that Mem that found Stell was the new spore, was the Demiurge. But the Demiurge was tangled with their memories, and the entanglement that they felt was confusing them, so they even fooled themselves into not knowing they were Demiurge. And this whole time we've been walking side by side with the Demiurge. The reason why they weren't able to detect this, and the reason why Evernight was able to detect this, and the reason why Lygus wasn't able to detect this, is because it was so small and so weak at the time when it escaped from its tomb, that they didn't even know that it escaped, because it was so weak and soft at the time. But it appears to be like when the 30 million cycles completed again, the memories fed into this version of Mem that met up with us at the time and became this, like, ultimate form of Cyrene. And Cyrene passed on, like, even the name, the As I've Written, everything to a Cyrene, but at the same time it also fed Iron Tomb. So at the same time, while this new spore, this Demiurge, this 13 Titan, was being fed the memories from Cyrene, it seems like also the 30 million cycles were also feeding Iron Tomb. They're like two halves, and that now that Cyrene wants to merge with her other half to defeat Iron Tomb. That's the gist of what I'm getting at here, of what just happened. But I'm gonna go back and, like, look at some more stuff, guys, so I'll see you in just, like, a bit. If you can go through everything, I looked back at a lot of stuff here as well. We can talk about this stuff as well. They're talking about how Xandar erased all the records here of the Demiurge, but there were still scars left behind, like a Stellaron residue. He was using the Stellaron to basically blow up and clean the scepter system, as originally the target of the scepter system was going to be the Demiurge. And I believe that's because the Demiurge now, and sorry, not the Demiurge, sorry, the scepter system and the scepter of Iron Tomb is reaching towards, if I'm not mistaken, it's reaching towards the Eridation to be its head, right? That's what it wants to like, complete itself. So he wanted to, like, get rid of it so that it could, like, not, like, use it, so the target would be the Eridation and not the Demiurge, right? If that's what they were getting at here as well. But they found out that Xandar basically couldn't contain the Demiurge, so he tried to use the Stellaron to blow things up. And also the fact that there's no trace here means that he could not destroy it. So those two things kind of lead her to believe, okay, it's probably still around here. The fact that he, like, had to do something to contain it means that it's probably real. And the fact that there's not, like, remnants around here, which means he probably didn't actually get to destroy it. I love kind of this whole scene here and them understanding that. It's really, really cool. Evernight believed that tomb where the Demiurge was supposed to be was empty, but Xandar's actions definitely prove it exists. And again, I love these interactions between Herta and Skrullum. It's really cool to see these two geniuses kind of like talk this through. So they come up with the idea that it was probably so small that it could not even be detected. And later on, we definitely realize why it was so small, why it was so weak that it couldn't even be detected at the time. So Xandar saw like the remembrance and the power of the remembrance as a threat, but he had no way to actually erase it. But in this time, they didn't find any trace of remembrance. The fact that like his original idea, the original thing for the scepter was to go after this new spore. I don't know if that has anything in relation to the idea of like the remembrance or anything like that, but I know like it's one of the situations where they say they should be like a remembrance there. There should be some traces of resemblance there as well. They exclaim that like Xandar can't be capable of any action now. He's kind of just like, you know, a spectator forever now. He no longer technically exists in this world, and he asked him to come to like this tombstone area. So him no longer existing means like, I guess like he's no longer anchored to Amphoreus, which means that they can't use the anchor to find him, but he can invite them to where he wants them to go as well. They said even like he's kind of like stopped resisting completely as well. And we find out he stopped resisting because he's you know, he feels like I don't have to do anything else. It's all done at this point. Like I don't have to like do anything because like Iron Tomb will be reborn. But again, Xandar fears this demiurge. So it's one of those situations where I feel like once again Xandar is saying like it's all over, it's done. But we're kind of like, okay, then like just you don't have to like think about it then, right? Don't even think about it. They mentioned the demiurge was like right in front of us the whole time, and that Xandar was like definitely afraid of him. They talk about how Xandar made Amphoreus a hollow tomb for Iron Tomb. To incubate Iron Tomb. He killed all the Memo Snatchers or got rid of them because he didn't want anything getting involved with his way of doing things, like his extrapolations, his way of doing the experiment. He didn't want any variable getting involved here as well. They mentioned that Demiurge is also the heart, and that Kaslan is like a perfect being to merge with the Iron Tomb right now as well. So like he feels kind of confident in a way, like, okay, I'm kind of like fading away now. I'm not anchored to this world anymore, so like really like it's like already like the Iron Tomb is progressing forward nicely, and it already has like a something that's merged with in terms of Kaslana. It was like a perfect was a perfect vessel, or what was the word they used for it? But yeah, Demiurge is supposed to be the heart. Iron Tomb seems to be like this body. They're looking for a head, which is iridation. That stuff kind of can be confusing sometimes as well. Xandar also called Philia's disappearance a disappearance that was a lie by the remembrance. So I think the disappearance of the lie or the remembrance is maybe that the lie is she never actually. Remember they're talking about the idea that she should have died at the start of every cycle, but I think that maybe was the lie. The lie was that she still continued on and documented all this stuff and gave all this information forward. So there was a lie from the remembrance that she was even doing that she died in the first place, and she never ceased to exist. She continued to exist. That's my estimation of what the remembrance lie is. That even though she was supposed to die at the start of every cycle, she continued living on after that as well. That's my estimation of what the quote-unquote lie is as well. Let's see what else here. I wrote a bunch of stuff down because this was like kind of confusing for me for sure. We have this quote here as well that has been throughout the entire game. Is like, and I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, "You shall fade while the flowers bloom," and this obviously becomes like a whole thing with Cyrene. The reason why this quote is so important, I know there's like more to the quote as well, but like the reason why that aspect of the quote is so important is that like, as she fades every single time, as she goes through the cycles and fades, as she will eventually fade, she is giving this nourishment to this bud, this flower, this demiurge, so that she can grow and gain power from the memories of all these people that Cyrene loves and has grown to love, while Cyrene will eventually fade away. It's the idea of like, for a seed to grow, the other seed has to die. It's like that kind of like, they've talked about this during the entire chapter. Now I'm not sure myself if Cyrene thought at first she was talking to Fuli to make a deal, and then eventually it changed her perspective. Oh, maybe I'm actually talking to something else here. Maybe. Or it was just, I think Fuli gave her kind of this estimation of like, oh, you have a chance. So she saw this as like a sliver of hope to defend Amphoreus. Maybe. I'm not sure about that. You guys can let me fill me in on that as well. 100%. But this whole time she was giving this information to the new Spore. who over time was like mimicking Cyrene, because I think it was Xandar who's saying that like they can't really like obtain a consciousness, but they do mimic the emotions and can mimic the stylings even of you know, something from like a memory of something like that as well. So the idea is that this new spore, in my view, was being nourished by Cyrene to eventually like make their part of the story. They use the term blank pages as well, the idea of like, okay, they're going to write blank pages and write their own part of the story and continue writing the story, and they would move forward with the power of the 30 million cycles and all those memories and converge with Iron Tomb. I think that's what they're saying as well. It like this little new spore grew to adore Cyrene, calling her Peach. It was like a baby getting attached to an adult. It was so beautiful. She was like, you know, learning words in like the wrong way, and like, you know, stripe is strife and all this stuff. It was very, very cute. And it becomes a very like beautiful moment too. Like this whole sequence is really beautiful. And that's one of the things where like, even though I was confused at times, no one could deny just how absolutely astoundingly beautiful this whole scene was. It was gorgeous. It was incredible. I found it to be something that I would really like in terms of like visuals and in terms of like the moment itself. It's so beautiful. Yes, I got a little bit confused as time went on there. Of course it did. I think that's Amphoreus sometimes. Sometimes it is quite vague, but I think it got the most vague it's ever been like in this sequence itself as well, because at one point they were just like saying like metaphors back and forth, and I was like, what? It's like someone, I think even in the video I say like, please just turn to the camera like a Looney Tunes character and be like, here's what's happening, which eventually they kind of do in a way, but you know what I mean. I was so confused at the time as well. At one point she even hears the story about like the memes, for example, the memo sprites, right? And she becomes that little meme. She's like mimicking the things from the memory of Cyrene, you know? She's doing that. Yeah, and as I said, they talk about the idea of blank spaces. She talks about like how Cyrene is love, and there's Peach and Cyrene is love, and then there's blank spaces. And the idea of blank space as well, I feel like is, you know, again, writing a new story. And as I said, like it's talked about, not really having real emotions, but they can, you know, mimic emotions or reflect emotions in some ways. Yeah, 100%. They also like were like kind of like recounting Cyrene's memories of herself, kind of like becoming that Cyrene, you know, the pink hair, the sharp ears, the beautiful nature of themselves, their personality and themselves, and the idea of even them growing up as well and becoming something. They become this new form, this taller version of themselves. And while it doesn't look completely like Cyrene as it does now, it starts to look like that, right? She became this beautiful form that now could tell stories and share stories. She wants to reflect like what Cyrene is, because to her, Cyrene is love. Cyrene is like everything that she like loves in life. She gets excited when Cyrene comes around, and she remembers everything, while Cyrene, of course, like goes through cycles and cycles and cycles. So it's probably like a massive joy in her life as well. Yeah, they tell the story about the crystal flower. They talk about how this crystal flower was supposed to break and then reflects light. Because the crystal flower bloomed in solitude, and that's why it's perfect. But the flower would no longer be pure, but could write its own stories. And it could understand what love is. And the shattering is the demiurge rebelling against fate. The crystal flower stuff kind of confusing to me. My estimation is maybe the crystal flower, as she said, it's kind of this pure flower. But when it like intentionally broke, it was able to like reflect something more into the world and reflect more beauty into the world and give more of a chance to reflect beauty into the world. And now that's kind of imperfect, it gets to go on and write its own story. It gets to go on and do something else. It gets to like maybe like, you know, take more things in. A perfect being can't take in like these emotions, can't take in this heart, but they might be able to find what love is and find a heart if they are less like, you know, I don't know, if they aren't this crystal flower that's not pure, that's purely pure. I think is what they said, like, yeah, they can learn emotional pattern recognition is what they can do. This is something I was also confused on too. They said Philia embarked on the path of remembrance, and Lament was the closest to this. This was a new path that she found. She embarked on the path of remembrance. I wonder if the idea of Lament is like, you know, again, as you said, like remembering things and thinking about things and mourning things. So that's like the path she chose as well. Because she says my lament is the type of compassionate pain that is only for herself. She said the most romantic force in the world can be like it was a bunch of like it can be even the darkest things, but it's like, say for example, and again this is kind of lament, it's like looking back on the world and wanting it to be beautiful, you know, having all these beautiful stories that are not like that, have pain in them, but like only thinking about the beautiful aspects. She says, while the end of hatred is a blazing inferno, lament can drown everything in muted silence. And she also says lament stalled the destruction steps. And it's also about like the idea of wanting things to get better. And what else did she say? Well, she says she carefully picked out stories that only the author would know. Sorry, no, that only the author would know the pain of those stories. And maybe lament can reach the the divine's heart as well. Again, this stuff like kind of confuses me. I won't lie. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I know this like completely what this is being said here. It's something that like is like, you know, a little bit like wishy-washy in my mind a bit. But the idea, so people can explain that if they want. The idea of remembrance and lament. To me, the idea of the remembrance and the lament is like, again, it's just a view from the outside right now as well. The remembrance and the lament path is the idea of remembering the past and mourning the past. And that being able to stall the destruction feels like maybe that's telling all the stories throughout history, and that was able to stall the destruction from going too far, I guess, or like feeding all this information to Newsport through like this lamenting the world and remembering the world, and through the remembrance was able to somehow like counteract the destruction. Again, maybe I'm just like only loosely explaining it there, but that's like, I guess, what I'm thinking it is. It's through those stories being told as well. We have a magnificent scene between Cyrene and the Demiurge where like Cyrene talks about how the world, she believes it was fully real. And she talks about how she's going to fade to let this Cyrene grow. And she said, you know, even like the idea question of like, what is love? I didn't understand what love was until I got to sit down and recount all these stories. Again, that lamenting thing. I got to recount everything about my people I love and the people I grew to love. You made me understand even more about the people I love in this world too. But throughout all these journeys that's happened, they left behind this seed. And I think the seed of remembrance is that Demiurge. Throughout all these cycles and all this pain, all this beautiful things, it's all being left with the memory within this Demiurge. This Demiurge that is going to carry all those memories and carry all those people's cycles and carry all the things that they've done with her as a power to combat Iron Tomb. She says even they deserve to be remembered because they gave everything. And she's giving everything to this nice Cyrene as well. She's giving the name, the book, the as I've written, and the blank spaces so she can write her own stories as well. And when they said like there was a light that like, you know, she followed to go here, I thought originally it was like maybe Fooley's gaze, but I think it actually was just the light of the deliverer. It was the light of the trailblazer. And that's the light she has to follow, and that's the light she did follow. She says that like there's the stories that Cyrene write will be full of sorrow, like she did. They'll be full of pain and sadness, but promise me you'll always be a gentle flower. And I love that because it's saying that like, again, the idea of, she talked earlier, looking back on memories that are painful but wanting to see the good in them. While things will get painful, while things will get sorrowful, please always have that mentality of the world is beautiful and you can get through this and we can get through this. Please like always have that positivity and that beauty in you, because people are going to need it. And someone who's carrying like the memories of all these beautiful people, being someone who is like still a gentle flower, is probably the best person to remember all these things as well. She is nourishment for the Demiurge. That's what she was. She gave all this nourishment. She's passing all these blank pages so that the Demiurge can write things, or that Cyrene, the new Cyrene, can write all these stories as well. And we just basically found out this whole time that the Demiurge was with us this whole time. That since Mem was with us, the Demiurge was with us at all freaking times. They talk about how like the idea that the flower was watered with lament, which again, if the flower is watered with lament, that means it's like the memories of these people, the beautiful memories of these people, the people that suffered. That's how it was watered. It was nourished through all these memories and this looking back on the people longingly, the people you missed, the people that suffered, the people who went through so much. That's what nourished the Demiurge. But yeah, the Demiurge then emerged as Mem. And it was kind of like this melding of like two personalities or two memories, which was Cyrene's and the Demiurge's personalities, which made Mem kind of like, I guess, like a little bit like forgetful. They didn't remember they were the Demiurge, so in a way they fooled themselves as well, of course. But their whole idea then was like to go on this for the Demiurge to move forward and them to be this power in this world through the cycles that allowed them to fight against Iron Tomb. Am I getting that right? It was through that nourishment that those 30 million cycles that they were able to gain this power and grow and become the thing that will be able to help people fight against Iron Tomb. And it's merge with Iron Tomb as well, right? It's, again, there's a lot here. There's a whole lot here. It was a beautiful moment as well, like her like passing through and becoming Mem. I was like, oh my god, this is it. The Mem was with this whole time. Because again, it's one of those things where like I said about this game, I said, oh man, like this is one of those times where I actually know what's happening at the start of this. The reveal was way different from what I thought. At the start of this, I literally said to you guys, I was like, oh yeah, I know what's happening. Oh yeah. And then we find out in the end, no, that's actually not what happened. It was actually, in all actuality, because I thought, oh, it's just Cyrene, who is the, now technically by name it's correct, but I was like, Cyrene's the 13th Titan. No. It was the Demiurge, the first new spore that became Cyrene in the end. But this whole time we weren't walking around with like that original version of Cyrene. The Mem that we were walking with all this whole time was the Demiurge. We were walking along with the 13th Titan at all these times. And because they were so small, because they were so weak at the time, Xandar didn't notice, and neither did Evernight notice that they weren't around anymore as well. So yeah, like all the stories became a source of power for the heart of Amphoreus, which is this Cyrene. And I think does that mean Xandar doesn't want her to become... Xandar wants Noose to merge with the Eridation. He doesn't want her to merge with Iron Tomb, because that means that he has this problem where now, the Iron Tomb will gain a heart? Is that what's going to happen? Like instead, like merging with... he said later it would become like this, anti-creator or something like that, but I think like it's one of those things where he definitely doesn't want that to happen because he wants it to merge with Noose, or to take Noose as well. There's... Herta believes that a growing Demiurge could fight Iron Tomb. They said Philia turned into a strand of a memory, which we know as well, and Stell then... What happened with Stell was, because she had the Celeron inside of her, she seemed to resonate with the contaminated scepter, which drew the Demiurge to her. So that's why the Demiurge was drawn to her in the first place, since the beginning it seems. That the Mem was drawn to her because she had a Celeron inside of her, and it resonated with the infected scepter that was already infected as well. And as I said, Philia managed to nourish a full heart, which is something that they never thought she'd be able to do, because she was supposed to be kind of more cold and calculated, right? She was supposed to like fit a single purpose, but she ended up feeding a whole heart. Even Skrullin was so like stunned by this as well. Xandar said when hatred and lament joins, it will be a giant destruction, the anti-crater, to ignite the starry skies. But Herta kind of doesn't believe that this is what would happen. But still, Xandar wants it to be this thing where it's a destruction of self for Eridation. He wants Eridation to, I think it is merge with Iron Tomb, and then erase Eridation, so that like all that information that Eridation has is like no longer... I'm getting so mixed up in my words here. Like, it's just so many things that still blow my mind here. He wants to get rid of the Eridation to reverse the thing that he obviously did beforehand, which was like make knowledge kind of like the singular thing that like was centered upon Eridation, so everyone can think for themselves, and that's what he wants, right? That's what he wants, and he doesn't want it to merge with Iron Tomb to merge with the New Spore. There's some stuff obviously like my brain is still kind of fried from everything. So like if I get some like terms wrong, it doesn't mean I don't know what's happening. It usually just means that like there's a lot of things up in the air as well. But I think I've gotten a grasp on like, if you guys want to fill in the gaps, you can definitely fill in the gaps, and I will not have an issue with that whatsoever. It's a lot. It's a whole hell of a lot. And I feel like it's not a critique of the game. I feel like, you know, when they got into like the whole Crystal Flower story, like, and looking back, it kind of like makes sense. But because it was just like, I kind of felt like we were so late into the game. I was like, we're doing analogies on analogies on analogies on analogies on analogies and metaphors on metaphors on metaphors. So I kind of got a little confused. I'll be completely real. The scene was kind of confusing to me, but I want to praise that scene as well, because I do think that it magically and how beautiful it is. And especially in retrospect, when you realize what's happening, you're like, oh my God, this is such a stunning scene, which I said it was stunning as we were watching it. It's a gorgeous scene. It's just like when they started doing the Crystal Flower metaphor, I was like, I kind of like felt frustrated with myself, because I was like, man, this is the final act of this Amphoreus. And like, here I am going to be like kind of like confused and a bit like spaced out a bit. And I was kind of like, oh man, no, not now. But I feel like, you know, retroactively, even the stuff with the Crystal Flower, if it is what I think it is, which it is kind of like saying like, you know, once the Crystal Flower shatters, it can do more than just like what it's supposed to do, which is kind of defy the idea of fate, which again would be like what Cyrene did, and technically what with her nourishing of the heart, and what the New Spore did, right? It can kind of be like that. Then it's like, okay, I kind of get it, right? But at the time, I was just like, it's one of those things where Amphoreus is very metaphor heavy, and I think it's not a bad thing because it sets itself apart from every single game, and it's romantic. The language is romantic. The way the characters act is romantic. It's very, very poetic. So like when it started to be metaphor, I'll just be, as I said, I'll be real. I was like, oh no. I'm like, oh god. But I think in the end it kind of like made sense a bit more as well after that. But it was genuinely frustrating for a moment there, because I think I even paused at a certain point just to be like, okay, let's just recompile myself, you know? I know people, and people might say, well, Calvin, like, I understood it first time through, and that's fine too, and like 100%. But like, it's not me hating on the game, it's me acknowledging that I was kind of confused for a bit there as well, 110%. And I don't know if this scene is like just intentionally vague or if I was vague for other people as well, but like it got more vague as time went on. But I still want to compliment the scene because, again, visually, the story of the scene, the emotions of like Cyrene and the new sport together, the growing up with the new sport, the mimic of the new sport to become this new character, incredible, absolutely incredible. I also love the dynamic between Herta and Skrullum this episode. Great stuff. Whenever they get to talk to each other, it's always great. They're funny with each other, but they're also like super, super charming at times too, with little tiny quips that they have with each other, which is always a great thing. I really adore the sequence afterwards with like the Mem, with the revelation of what happened with Mem. The relation between the new sport and Cyrene is one really gorgeous one where like it really is like an emotional thing with saying goodbye to Cyrene, but it's also like this pride that you feel where it's like, oh my god, this character was able to do all of that. Like, and also again, it brings up the themes of Amphoreus, which are so huge for me as well, which is like the idea that all of these memories are so powerful. And it goes against the idea of like what, you know, when Xander says it's all fake, blah, 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 you know, it goes against that for me all the time, because like when Xander says it's all fake, I think to myself where it's like, these memories technically are quote unquote all fake, but in reality is the memories of the 30 million cycles. Yes, you can say it's an experiment, but the memories of Cyrene that she had with all these people throughout all these cycles, they were able to do this. They were able to nourish an entire heart here. They were able to make this new spore grow into what it is today. That's what the memories of all these people were able to do. The lamentation of all these characters was able to do, which is incredible. It's more than incredible. It's an absolutely like beautiful thing. It's absolutely beautiful. And it can't be praised enough just like how incredible the moment of like the revelation of what was happening there as well, and of course just like the sadness that comes along with it, with like Cyrene once again being this tragic character who like is giving up everything for this world. The seed or the flower that will fade so the other flowers will bloom, the seed that will die so the other seeds can bloom, the nourishment for the soil of this other flower so that they can grow as well and write their own chapters in the blank pages, and as I've written with the Traveler. It's literally like them passing the book going, you will write that story. And Mem did write the story with us this whole time, has been writing those blank pages as well. If I'm not mistaken, that would make sense why like Cyrene knew of us and acted like she really knew us, but like it wasn't exactly her with us this whole time, if that makes sense. It was Memulon, you know, Mem. Yeah. It's like, if you go back, we can probably notice the differences, like when it was probably Mem, when it was Cyrene, we probably could, yeah, 100%, but like that's just, yeah, another thing as well we could talk about as well. Yeah, the stuff with Xander, I hope we still get to stomp him a little bit, you know what I mean? Even if I got to play football with his head, you know what I mean? Well, he's like, football, of course. The game played by Lionel Messi Hall. Me acting like he's someone that does like comparisons or like leading conversations. Yeah, like I hope we get to like do something and actually just get to like rip him apart or something like that as well, because he's not getting off the hook. He really isn't. He can't get off the hook. Even if a bare minimum, like I won't ask for much. If we get to just like crush him up in a ball, melt him, reform him, melt him, reform him, melt him, reform him, melt him, reform him over and over again. Like I just want him to be in pain for 1,000 years. Like it's not too much. Like I don't think it's too much. I'm not asking for like a million years. I'm asking for 1,000. Like it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, like it was a confusing time, but also a really incredible time. And now we're heading towards Iron Tomb with full speed. Again, I'm taking my time with this, guys. I'm not going to be rushing any of this. There's nothing in it that's gonna be. If you get an episode at one point that's like an hour 40 minutes, that's gonna happen, right? I don't care. Like, I'm not sitting here and rushing everything. When it feels right to take a break and to recompartmentalize thoughts, we're going to do that as well. We're coming into the last act of Amphoreus, the last main, like, Amphoreus Trailblaze mission. And yes, you'll be like, well, Calvin, you have, like, the other new region as well, 100%. But the way I look at that is the same way, like, I looked at, like, anything else, which is, like, yes, I'll have another region, but eventually I will catch up. This is my last time in Amphoreus' main Trailblaze mission. This is my last time here, right? I'm going to take my time. I know, like, whenever I say it doesn't matter, whenever I say that stuff, no matter how many times I've said it. I said it in Genji 2 when I was like, I'm catching up now. And then someone goes, well, you forgot about the mission on the planet Scopulon. And it's like, you know what I mean. Yes, we're going to do other stuff as well, but you know what I mean. Like, we're catching up to the Trailblaze mission as well, which I'm very, very excited for. I'm not excited in the sense where I don't want to, but I'm excited to see, like, what the next planet looks like as well. But it's a testament to Amphoreus that I don't want to leave, but also I am kind of ready to put some suffering behind me for a little bit. You know what I mean? I know, like, it's Honkai Star Rail, so, like, it's like, you go, oh, we left the suffering, let's go into this suffering. But I, at least, like, for a tiny bit, I can, like, feel, you know, like, not that I put it behind me because it's always going to be on my mind, but I can be like, okay, we're out of the frying pan for a little bit. You know, we're out of there for a little bit. You know what I mean? Just for a tiny bit. And I guess not that I want to leave. It's more that, like, I feel like what's going to happen is we're going to have this whatever emotional ending we're going to have here for this act. And then we're going to, like, finish up all the stuff we need to do in Amphoreus or whatever. I feel like what's going to happen is it's going to be such an incredible time, but then once we leave Amphoreus, right, it's going to feel like, whoa. Who even am I now? You know, who even am I? If that makes sense. Where it's like, it's going to be such a different feeling, you know, because it's so long. It's been the longest Hoyo region or planet or anything I've ever been. It was longer than Nakurai, easily, you know? So that's, like, the feelings I'm going to have right now. I'm not going to rush anything. I'm not going to rush a single thing. But guys, if you want to see these videos early, you can see them on YouTube members or on Patreon, and that's for the lowest tier at €1 or whatever it is in your currency. If you want to see these videos, my mind is fried. I was about to repeat what I just said. If you wanted to see your name in the credits, go and buy the text credits. That's €10 or whatever it is in your currency. And if you want to see hear your name, we're all over the place today. Hear your name be read out. That is a €15, and that is for the entire month. All that is as well, guys. And you can have that for the entire month for your pledge on YouTube members and on Patreon. I want to say thank you to the patrons first at the highest tier. That is Typharo2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yule, Anusta, The Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, Hikesperian, Neo Showerite, Leo200, Malcolm Conday, at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Roscoe and Lucinangi. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.